Welcome to the show. All Things Bulldogs. Here we go, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Blue and white pride. Bulldogs for life. Dog father here. Gas by my side.
G'day, Doggies fans.
G'day, Doggies fans. All Things Bulldogs. Gus was going to do me line there. Got to keep the show must go on.
Trying to unmute you, mate. The show must go on. Nobody else can lip sync. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry about last night, guys. We had some stuff happening yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. But family first, but you guys are family as well. So we're still here Wednesday night. Look, there was some other podcasts on last night to keep you going, obviously, and I had a watch of them later on as well. It was riveting stuff. Good old Brian's there telling everyone when we start and attacking our show because we won't let him on it. But anyway, you guys all said you didn't want him back, so it was a team effort, guys. But look, I'm going to do a little monologue in a minute, but a quick hello to everybody. So let's see who's on. Obviously, Gaz is here. G'day, brother. Bulldogs, Mike,
Hey,
Lockie, Timmy, Joby, Lucas, Bulldog Mike, I'll say it again. And Benny is on as well, and we'll wait for everyone to jump on. Already 40 people have logged on, which is pretty good this quick. Get some comments up now. We should have some polls up today, guys. I don't know if you can see them yet, but we'll whack them out there. We'll make it a bit more interactive. Gus found something on there, so really well done to him. A new update that's come through. And there you go.
we have to add them in individually, mate. There we go.
There you go. So if you just want to answer those polls, hit one, I don't know, type 1 or 2 into the chat, guys. That's all you've got to do. If you agree that he's ready, put him in. If he's not, let him have a week off. We'll have some others there as well to have a look at. But and g'day, Ibrahim Buzzy 95, Kangaroo Killer. Welcome to you guys. And I know Pete will be on soon as well. Amir, So everyone's answering the poll, so Gas can go through that and count those numbers up later on. Oh, it's actually showing us.
It tallies up for us, mate.
Oh, even better.
Keeps us a running total.
Look, I'll talk about tonight. We're definitely going to talk about Stephen Crichton, whether he'll play, who I think the 19 will be. Gas will then tell you what he thinks. We're going to obviously do our wheel again today. So Brian's already got $10 in the kitty, and I'm also going to give Rhett some more goes in it because he whacked $100 in last week. So I think that's worthy of another entry, 100%. G'day, Trish. Good to see you. Trish is a member, and also big thank you to donating to the Soldier on March on as well, Trish. Big thank you to you. G'day, Zyad. So people, if we get to $100, we're $10 there already. If we get to 100, another $40 voucher. Now, Knox Corvus, you haven't contacted us yet. That prize is there. We'll be waiting for you. We'll give you a month or so. Hopefully, we get to meet you in Brisbane next Friday. So, guys, we're going to try and catch up. I've reached out to James as well. He's going to be there. Gas is going to be there at the Broncos game. So I cannot wait. We'll get to actually meet each other in person for the first time and hopefully meet a whole few other people as well. Brian will probably be there and want to meet us as well. So,
well, for Knox Corvus,
I might have to bring what do they call it? A peace and good behaviour document to hand him.
For Knox Corvus, just to added incentive, if you come back to us soon, like in the next day or two, we'll make it more worth your while. Instead of $30 with the delivery, we'll do $40, and I'll bring it up with me to Brisbane next week and personally give it to you at the game if you're going to be there. So you get $10 more of Bulldog merchandise. That's a nice incentive if you come back in quick time. So
and if you can't make the game, I can deliver it to you because I'm literally a delivery guy. And it's funny, I've been called out a few times. Hey, you're All Things Bulldogs. I was watching you yesterday. G'day, Ross. Yeah, that's right, Bros. No bad mouthing of Gus. 0 team selections or death threats this week. That's right. And look, the Dogs have cashed in as well as they could after a great win and did a great job with their media. They did a great job with their signings, announcements, releasing news about Burton as well. It's all been very well handled by the Bulldogs and people like Paul Crawley. Look, they keep going. They keep doing what they're going to do. But Creepy Crawley obviously was expecting a Bulldogs loss and was hoping for a whole bunch of headlines he could have cashed in on. Instead, he, they'll just talk about Cleary not being good enough for Origin, which is ridiculous as well. G'day, Matt.
Not sure if you missed a few of the top ones. Tony, did you get Tony V, Aki, Lucas? You got those guys?
Yeah, said hello to Lucas, but we won't go through all the stuff yet. Gas will have a look through, but first thing we're going to talk about...
Just the hellos, mate. Just the hellos.
They're all saying hello. Beautiful.
That's
all right, Sayed, welcome to you, and welcome to you, James, who's jumped on. Eddie Prasad. Some people haven't known, so that's good. The poll's actually good. There's people probably don't chat, but want to interact that way. So great job, Gas. Very good. And who's that? Shoey's chucked in 10, so we're up with $80 to go, guys. Well done. Let's discuss Bulla and Tracy for next year. I will discuss that, but first of all, we'll do that second up, mate. You've earned the right with that comment, 100%. But we're going to talk about this Eels game. People, it seems rugby league has this habit of turning everyone into Dory the goldfish year on year. Parramatta and Bulldogs does not matter whether they got 50 points against them last week or whether we won by 50 or vice versa. Form means nothing in this game. It's a really important game for the Bulldogs. We don't have Max King. Now we get to have Leo Thompson join our team. I still think we should not be having massive expectations on Leo in round one, other than he goes out there and works his ass off until he can't move. Usually when a player's making a return, they are susceptible to a couple of moments. Not making excuses, because we don't have excuses in that team. They don't make excuses themselves, right? But it's his first game. After a bit of an injury layoff, he's going to need a little bit of time. Hopefully not much time. Hopefully no time. Hopefully he can go out there and play a good 20 minutes to start and come on and play 10, 15, 20 if need be. But this game against Parramatta, they're not going to be the side that just got 50 put on them by the Titans. I can tell you that right now. So I think it's really stupid for people to go and carry on about it and laugh at Parramatta. Look, what's the matter, Parramatta? I get it. But let's wait till we beat them on Sunday. The last two times, one of D's big stats, last two times they've had 50 put on them, they've won the next week, including this year. They beat the Broncos, and they were actually, I think, what they lose 50-10 against the Storm, and then were down 22-0 against the Broncos or something and beat them. So we've won 3 in a row against the Eels, and they were on a 4-game winning streak before that. That was another stat from Dave. And I'll give you those stats later on in the piece. But one thing I want to say is, just to highlight, is form means nothing. And I've always said this, even when Parramatta were doing well and we weren't doing well. And there were a lot of games where we were way off the pace and they were a contender for the title and for the top 4. And we took them to the wire, nearly beat them every single time. They rarely smashed us. Then we got that game in 2022. One of the best, that game in 2022 when Mick Potter took over as coach, had a couple of games before that. And he was sort of getting a few guys like Curtis Moran into the team. And the other guy ended up going the Roosters, the journeyman who's played New South. Zach Docker Clay, I think he brought into the side. But, Jake Averillo gets that bloody intercept early and we're up 10-0. And remember Birdo when Moses is about to score at the end and he tackles him as he's putting the ball down and he knocks on. Like so many little chips for Otto Carr that just all came off. It was a great day of rugby league, and it was sort of the day where we went, we've actually got some attacking talent in this side that we haven't seen in a really long time. And that was just a perfect example of a game where we were way off the pace and we smashed that team that was that had Moses and was nearly full strength. So Max King is a big out for us this week. He made 42 tackles in 45 minutes, as Gaz pointed out last week in the review. And he's been a massive part of our resurgence, this guy. He was literally the first opportunity signing of someone that had basically just been getting injured in the game and not really getting to showcase what his potential was, to someone who immediately made a massive contribution to our team the moment he came in. And he's played through such sufferance. Like, the guy's been in moon boots 2 days before games and gone out and played. Like, that's the type of bloke he is, and we miss him. Now, Thompson is there. It's a real shame we don't get to see the both of them this week. But we'll get our chance for that. Sam Hughes will start. So will Leo Thompson. And we'll talk about the team. We'll get that up in front of you a little bit later. But Gus, just your thoughts on the Parramatta rivalry with the Bulldogs before we get into Shoei's comment as the first donator tonight.
There's obviously a lot of rivalry games that we've had. I mean, who will ever forget the multicultural round where we beat them? I think it was 42-6 back in '93 at Belmore, where it was
that was our biggest win. That was our biggest ever win against Parramatta.
Record crowd, the whole lot. I mean, I was there for that game. It was just unbelievable. A game I'll never forget, and a game that I watched on replay multiple times. And obviously the big one in '98, guys, when we were down 18-2 with 10 to go, and then we came back and and won that game in extra time to get to the grand final. It's a game that Parramatta supporters also have forever in their memories. But it didn't always go our way, guys. Haslam's last game was also against Parramatta to get into the grand final, and we lost that in a big crowd at Homebush as well at the stadium. So 2009. So a lot of rivalry games there, always big ones. Obviously the grand finals in the 80s. So they always lift for us no matter what, guys. It doesn't matter. Like Michael said, they were beaten by 50, or they had 50 against them in round one. They came back and won in round two. This year alone. So don't expect the same result that they had last week. It will be great for us if we can. If you look at it, form is just temporary. We have to go out and we have to prove that what we did against Penrith wasn't a fluke, and we have to make sure that we keep that momentum against Parramatta. So it's going to be great. But you know what, guys? We can all do something about it. We can get down there and support them as well for all of you who are able to and who are local. CommBank is there. It's close. We can all go and enjoy the game and hopefully ride our boys home. Just like on Thursday last week, 23,984 of us were out there, majority Dog supporters, and that was a massive help to our team to beat Penrith. A lot of you had those gut feelings the later it got in the week, and you turned out and supported your team, and you got your rewards. So let's make sure we do the same thing this week as well, guys.
All right, so we've got the names up there now. So let's good stuff, Gaz. We'll go through the chats in a moment, but let's go to Shoey's comment.
Yep.
And guys, if you look, we've got our agenda, what we want to talk about, and we try to get through everyone's chats. But if there is something you really want to talk about, obviously, if you pay for it, we're talking about it. We don't want to be like that at all. Obviously, if you can't afford to pay, you put your chats on there, you ask your questions, and we will do our best as usual to go through every single one like we usually do. So, Bulla and Tracy for next year. Now, David Riccio said last night on NRL 360 that because we've signed Tracy, that means no to Bulla. Obviously, I sort of agreed with them a little bit. Not necessarily that we're out of the race for Bulla, but for the fact that they reckon Gus is having a bit of fun with talking about the extra creamy and all that sort of stuff and silky and whatever else. I've heard every single commentator in the game of rugby league say that players are great and are a great talent. Or every single one of them. What a great talent this kid is. Is Blocker Roach, who's a Tigers man, when he's talking about Keano Kinney trying to recruit Keano Kinney to the Tigers. I know he's not the chief of football or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Gus is paid for that opinion. And if he wants to call a player a great player, I don't believe that is not going to influence that player to come to the Bulldogs one iota. I just don't see that being a thing. Gus has huge respect for most of the players out there and just loves the talent on show. So let's get that out of the way. I'll get Gus's thoughts in a minute, but I think that they still could be in line for Bulla. I haven't watched NRL 360 tonight, and nor would I use that as a benchmark for whether something's going to happen or not. Because like 98% of the time, they're just completely off the mark. They're just wrong. One comment I will make just as a side note, Braithen Astor is going to give Parramatta 1 year before he really has a dig at them and goes hard at them because his boy's going to leave next year, obviously, and go to the Broncos. So, sorry, I just had to say that one. But guys, look, I think Connor Tracy was our most important signing. He was our most, when we talk about instability, I've said it numerous times. When he got injured against Manly when he was at his peak and suffered that really unique abdominal injury, that derailed our season more than anything else. It completely derailed our season. And what we need to understand is that the work that a fullback does, even when they have a game when they miss some tackles or they're late to the party a couple of times or they drop a couple of balls, their job is the most important on the field now. It's very hard to decipher. That's why you see the highest paid player in the game is a fullback. And if you look at all the stats, you must have a fullback which has the capability to get man of the match awards in big matches and get picked for Origin, get picked for international stuff. That's what you need as a fullback. Now, I don't know if Tracy's there yet, but he's the closest thing we've got to that at the moment. And until we can get Tay and Dykesy and all these players ready and Raymond Peru, it is essential that we have Connor Tracy on the park. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I said it in 2 or 3 different articles leading up through the preseason. We've talked about it numerous times. He was one of the most important signings for us, whether we went and got a Kalen Ponga for unders, obviously, or a Bulla, sign Matt Burton as well. We've got the ability to do it. If you go through the cap, we can upgrade a Burton to $1 million for a couple of years. And they already talk about like he's already on $1 million, which he's not. Brent Reid just keeps saying it when he's not. Maybe with incentives and stuff like that, potentially. But, yeah, that's my thoughts. We could be still in the hunt for Bulla. It would make sense. But we're not going to pay overs for the kid. And, his manager and his mate is Galvin. I think he would be a great addition to our club, but I also think that he doesn't necessarily just have to play fullback either. I think this club picks footballers first and personalities second, or maybe personalities first, footballers second, and whatever position they play third. There's only a very few players in our team that are specifically one thing or the other, or, most of them are very versatile. So what's your thoughts, Gaz?
I actually saw the episode today. I had a look because I kind of figured that they might say something, so I did a bit of a homework. But when they asked the question again, they were checking to see if the two sort of reporters today, Reid and Carianis, were of the same opinion as the guys yesterday. Carianis shot it down straight away and said, no, he goes, I wouldn't agree with that. He goes, I still think the Bulldogs could make a play for Bulla. And then they spoke about, the versatility of Tracy, the fact that, he's come across, he's played centre, he's played wing, he can cover positions, and he could potentially even be a 14, whatever it might be. So they wanted to keep the narrative open because it suits them. It sells papers for them. Whether it's true or not, everybody wants to start soon jumping back onto the how come Gus hasn't been reprimanded comment, all that sort of stuff as well. So from my perspective, I'm not going to look too much into it. I think Gus was doing what he did on purpose to basically make those comments. He was toying with them. He was making fun of them. He's definitely met Bulla, guys, for those who are not sure. He's definitely met him. But you got to remember one thing, guys, and everyone seems to forget this. Last year, no matter what happened, it came down to a 50-50 call with Lachie Galvin between us and Parramatta. And there was a strong point there that he was very close to going to Parramatta. So
his dad wanted him too. His dad wanted him too.
Exactly.
That's true.
This whole talk about him coming to the Bulldogs because, Gus said what he said and the manager was wanting and all these other things, and that's why he went out of the Tigers. It wasn't dry in a cut and shut case of automatically he's left the Tigers and they've allowed him to go. We only got interested when he was basically allowed to go from the Tigers. But didn't mean that he was coming up. He still had to decide between us and the Eels. So same thing again now, guys. Bulla's there. Obviously, the Tigers have had to pay overs on a lot of players in their team to build the team that they've got, which is now showing. But they're going to start having the same issues as every other team has. When you build all this team, you have to shed some players. Even teams, example, like Cowboys, who have got Drinkwater, who's on the outer at the moment because they can't afford to pay him what the potential is, where Dragons are looking at paying him $3 million over 3 years, even as a 29-year-old. So that's what happens. Penrith have lost a lot of players. So has Melbourne. But the key is you try to keep the core spine that you want, and then you build around it, which is what teams like Penrith and Melbourne have done, and what the Bulldogs are doing now. So I think Tracy is an integral part of our team. He's definitely showed that, knock on wood, he's over, he was over his sort of early injuries that he was having with his knees, etc. And once he became that consistent player in that position, he has been, for me, between Tracy and Preston, the two most consistent players in our team over the last few years, easily. Yeah. Everyone else is coming up and down in that time, but they have been the rocks for us, especially at the back there. Tracy has got better and better all the time, and you can see this year he's put a big focus on his defence. And again, he showed that the other day with that one-on-one tackle again. So,
Max King without the mould is in that conversation as well.
100%.
Take the mould out, and he's the other guy. And then you add Jacob Carraz to that. So,
and that's why we've been in the position we've been. We've been finals in 24. We were leading the comp. We were third last year, and this year again, guys. If we keep ourselves clean, we keep building on what we're doing, we're again going to be, because we've got all these consistent players that keep rising to the occasion and having good games. And there's always someone to cover for someone else. So, look, Leo Thompson, it will be exciting this week to see him come out there. And unfortunately for King, it's not going to be together. It would have been nice to have them out there together. Yeah. But in a way, it's, the Bulldogs wouldn't start him if he wasn't ready to start. So, guys, don't worry about the fact that it's his first game. He's been training very hard, working on his game, getting himself ready. And if he wasn't ready, they wouldn't start him. It's a long season, and they don't want to take any risks. So he'll hit the ground running. He just needs to obviously get over our sort of defensive structure pretty quickly. You can only do so much in training, but once you've got opposition in front of you, that's different. He just needs to make sure that communication and everything works for him. So he can feel comfortable. But I wouldn't expect huge minutes out of him yet. It may also throw off the minutes that maybe Hughes does. I'm not sure.
I think Hughes will play 25. Yeah. I think if they can get it out of Hughes, because he played 24, 25 last week. So I think he'll play the 25. And I think Leo will play as long as he can, depending on what we're doing in the match. That's what I mean. If we're running downhill, if it's all going well, we're making our tackles, we're in the grind, we get some early points, Leo will stay on until he feels that he needs to come off, and then the other guys will ramp it up. We got Mr. Incredible. Welcome to you, mate. And you'll go into the draw, Mr. Incredible, to win a $40 voucher. He loves the show. Do you think the boys play more free when Critter isn't playing? Do you think they'd move Montoya out to keep Cherry and Tuala? I will talk about that. 100% that's on our agenda. And that'll be next up when we look at the team lists and who's going to be in the 19, in my opinion. Gaz will give you his opinion after that. And then we will see, what happens from that point on. And Lucas has also come in again with another $15. So thank you very much to Lucas. Showy, because Lucas is a member, a monthly member, he gets 2 tickets in the draw. So that's the other way, guys. If you want additional entries, and I know a lot of you don't even care about the entries and the draw and that, like that's all a bonus. You just want to contribute and support what we do. We really bloody appreciate that 100%. But, if you are a monthly member, either on here or buy me a coffee, you get additional tickets when you do contribute. So, do you want to go through the chats quickly there, Gas, while I get the team lists up for us to have a look at?
And just while Michael's doing that, for all those winners that we had in the lead up to Vegas for those flags, like you see, where is it up there? I've still got all those ready. I've actually got them always on standby, and I'm waiting for an opportunity with the players without infringing on their on what they have to do. And once I've got those signatures, there is, I think, 5 of you that have those flags, 5 different players as well. So it's all good. We'll get them all, and then I'll deliver those and get them to you once they're done. So they're all set and ready. So don't stress if you're one of the winners. Good things take time, and we'll get that to you. Okay.
Beautiful. Just a few chats. Sayed will be at the game, and he's saying what we said in the monologue to start. Don't underestimate the Eels. Timmy's enjoying the Galvin Prestamania combo. Well, you should be, mate. I've been enjoying it since you come to the club. Trisha said thank you to the shout out. G'day, Brian. Good to see you, mate. And you're first up with 2 tickets in the draw, buddy. And let's get Matt, who's also a monthly contributor to us. Hey, lads, it's his second comment. His first comment was last year watching our boys beat the Raiders on my iPad on the bus to Anzac Cove. Kanakale, Turkey. Never felt so Australian until now, lads. Go the Dogs.
Welcome.
Well, that's beautiful, buddy. And it's Anzac Day coming up next week. So my son's in the Navy, mate. So good times.
Anyone who's hungry, don't look at that burger.
And g'day to you, Aki, as well.
You want to show Aki on the big screen, mate?
And here's the real Brian, the non-tosser Brian. Let's go, boys. And Tony's here as well, another beautiful contributor. Lucas says, great to see Leo Thompson names. Jamie said hello. Great to see you all, guys. Do they get any players back? We'll go through the teams in a sec. Brian's happy to see Leo to play a decent game and come out injury-free. That would be great. How many minutes does he play? I reckon he plays between 15 and 20 in his first game back to start and maybe comes on for another run. I'm sure if he's feeling good, they will.
They want to get some minutes in him if they can and if things are going well.
Lucas Logos, keep the Eels in the bin. That's it, brother. Amir, I believe Parra will be up for it, but with the injury toll, I just don't see they'll have the team to beat us and they'll be competitive, I reckon. Yeah, I sort of agree, brother. Welcome to you, Hilly. Up the Dogs. Max is a big out, says Martin Lazaire. A lot of new people tonight. Great to see you. Don't know if it's because it's Wednesday or what.
Different night, yeah.
Different night. Might incentivize us just to switch it up a bit and especially on a Sunday game. You know, we don't have to be the first ones to talk about stuff. We can
always do. We can always do too. Anyway, let's not go there yet.
Yeah. We'll do countdowns every week. The countdown to Sunday.
Yay.
1 to 7. Oh, Ricochet. Rugby is absolute trash. Thank you for joining and saying that. Guess where you're going? Guess where you're going?
He's talking about rugby union.
You're going in the bin.
Is he going to rugby? Is he talking about rugby union?
Oh no, he said rugby's absolute trash. He's probably a soccer supporter from another country.
That's all right.
Great comments on King. He has been awesome every game since he started for the Doggies, and I don't get our fans bad-mouthed him. He's the best thing he did was take off social media. Mainstream is worth enough. That's it.
Yeah. He's got his hands full looking after the young ones.
Brian, very good comment here, mate. This is the recruitment wars, and I suppose that's where Gus probably does. If he does have an advantage, it is to talk players up to raise their price. But that's just an outcome. It doesn't matter what his intention is. The NRL needs to say, okay, you can't do both. What's his name's on the board of the Bears? The guy who hosts 100% footy. I've forgotten his name.
Yeah.
Bracey.
Yeah.
the head of
James Bracey.
James Bracey. Mainstream media is worse enough. Problem is paying $1 million for players. Yeah, that's it. And we try not to. They have to earn it. Is it Montoya off contract so Tracy could go to the wing? I think Shoei was talking about that as well in his first thing, but I don't think Montoya will be leaving the club. I just don't. I think he'll get another contract. It'll depend how his body's going and what he wants to do, but I think how old is Montoya? 30?
Yeah, I think it was getting close to that 30 mark, around that 30 mark.
Yeah, I think he'll get another year. I think he'll just get 1 year extensions potentially at the Bulldogs till he retires. That's what I think he'll have. Okay. Apparently, we've had some issues on Instagram.
Yeah, he just turned 30 a month, nearly 2 months ago, Montoya. 17th of February, 1996.
Well, there you go. Just turned 30.
Yeah.
All right. G'day, Mike. Cool. Welcome to you, son.
G'day, Mike.
Hopefully, we turn up against Parramatta. Be a lot closer than people think. Always a close game against Parramatta, no matter where the teams are on the table. If Dogs players actually have a go like last week, can't see Parramatta getting here. Oh, I think they've had a go every week. That's the whole thing. Their fitness, they're always going to start to be humming around then. Obviously, going up against the side that have had us in the bin for a long time. Cleary hasn't lost to us since he was a kid. So yeah, it was a massive performance, no doubt about that. But I think they've had a go every week, even when they've haven't executed and had some bad moments. But that's just me. G'day, Rhett. Watching the full episode tomorrow. Well, you were in the draw, buddy, from last week's haul. I don't think we'll go after Loco Pacifica Tonga at all, unless he's a great mate of Finau Latu or something, and I don't know anything about him actually, other than he's a good player.
He's been knocked back again. His manager complained today, even though he's in the stable of Matty Rogers, he doesn't. Matty doesn't actually manage him himself. He's in his team, but they came back today and they said based on the talk that Flanagan was talking about, where he said that, if we had more players in our squad, we'd pick them and etc. He thinks he hasn't been trained or managed well or coached well or all that sort of stuff. That's why he's trying to reinforce himself to be pushed out of the club. But the Dragons are holding firm and not wanting to let him go.
Look,
but I don't think
that's being said. I don't want him.
I don't think there is a fit for the ball. I think we've got a lot of depth in that space. And a lot of good youngsters coming through. I don't think we need to be looking at someone like that just because they're off or want to be off. So,
look, in New South Wales Cup last week, he made like 250 metres and 90 post contact and 100 tackle breaks and all this sort of stuff, right? But it's New South Wales Cup. It's not, you can't compare it. If he's not being picked,
yep.
Look, I look at every club the same way as I look at our own, right? You have to be fair. There's professionals there. Now, obviously, a team's going to come first, team's going to come last. And they've got some problems. I think their recruitment has been crap. I think they've gone and recruited too many. I think they've been that hungry for success, and they've continually sort of gone on this spiral that they've tried to buy their way out of it. And what they're trying to do is just stem the flow until they can get these young fellas in. But the problem is these young fellas are getting frustrated, and there's a lot of the fans are in there. The fans are looking at reserve grade as their big hope. It's a lot like what the Bulldogs were going through. And they got all these Neanderthals. They bought Raymond Fatala Mariner. They bought Corey Allen. They bought, players that were sort of let go from other clubs. Bennett didn't want Damien Cook.
Flanagan.
They didn't want Gufferson at Parramatta anymore.
We bought Flanagan too, yeah.
They bought Flanagan. He wasn't wanted at the Bulldogs anymore.
He wasn't one of the Roosters. I'm saying we bought him as well. So we were doing the same thing at the time, yeah.
Well, at least he was a young guy with an option, and we sort of had to give it's similar, 100% Gas. So we've just got to look at these things and go, okay, we've sort of let we've let the Seve brothers go. Why? Because there's a bunch of kids who reckon they're ready for first grade, and then we've brought in, it's hard for them. They look at you and go, okay, what? You bought Tuala in, you bought Cooper Toy in from the Roosters, you bought, Mickey Nassar from the Roosters. We've brought these players into our club, the local juniors. It pisses them off.
Mm.
It does. And their parents verbalise it. I've talked about this stuff a lot. They bring in Bryanton and they bring in Oliver Smith. Now, these all kids become mates eventually and they all love each other. Like, there's no problem there. But when they see kids walk straight into the 30 and stuff, it just makes them think that their pathway is too hard. But that's how it has to be, guys. You have to have a hard pathway. And if Pacifica Tonga, he just needs to keep playing well every week and eventually he'll get picked. It's round 7. Most coaches pull the trigger after about round 10. You have to back your plan. You have to. The team believes in it. They've nearly won some games. They nearly beat us. They should have won. I think they should have beat Parramatta as well, Gas. Like, they've nearly beat some teams.
Yes.
They've got to believe in their plan, because if they don't, well, what's the point? They're just going to abandon it after 7 weeks. This is what we were saying the same thing about our side. We lost one game and people acted like we needed to make wholesale changes. And then all these tards, touchline tards, hello guys. Look, they're nice guys at the end of the day. They're good family people. I'm bringing that back. Sorry, immature of me. However, 1 loss, 2 loss. We told you Galvin was shit. We told you he wasn't a 7. They're doing this over and over, Gas. Every time we have a win, yay, we lose. We told you so. We told you that you need to listen to us and do what we tell you should do. It's obvious what we should do. Guys, it was round 3, round 4. Yeah, it was disappointing. Me and Gas were screaming at the TV. We were pissed off. We weren't happy. But guys, you got to follow your plan. And what does that plan bring you? What did we witness last Thursday night? That's what sticking to the process is. That's what sticking to your plan is. Now, if it's failing, gets to round 9, 10, that's when you see clubs kick. The Manly guys pull the trigger real quick. Cowboys are about to pull the trigger on Peyton. He's won these last 4 games. We just need to stick with the process, and if Pacifica Tonga wants to go to the Bulldogs, well, who's he going to replace? I know we talk about these things, but it's not about, let's just kick this guy out of our club so we can put this guy in. It doesn't work that way. Unless they've got a bad attitude and they don't believe in our system. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I don't think his pathway will be with the Bulldogs, even if he wants to come. I think we've got a lot of players way ahead of him before he jumps on.
Yes.
Bakar, welcome, Bakar.
Later, Bakar.
Bakar, how you doing, Bakar? Welcome to All Things Bulldogs, mate.
G'day, Bakar.
Hey, it's a lot less swearing here than your dad's stuff, mate. Don't worry. You can listen to us. You have to leave the room when your dad's doing his stuff. Welcome.
Come on, Sherry. Come on. Come on, you sick. I was telling Harry the other night that I love watching those replays, watching someone so passionate about the Bulldogs commentate those memories. It actually like they stay in your brain longer. Like, unfortunately, when Matt Thompson does it, I can't keep it there. I think Billy and Johnsy are much better to listen to than the other mob on Fox. But
well, it's funny, the Penrith game, actually, the commentary and everything around the Channel 9 I found better this week.
Yeah, it was.
Than the Fox. And I watched them both a couple of times each, and the insight and everything was a bit better. Like, just like you said the other day, how could you not know that Harry Hayes was like out for 2 weeks? Oh, he's been rested. They've rested Bulldogs. They've not played him the last 2 weeks. What do you mean? There was a lot of things in there that they missed that he didn't get right. I don't know. It was just mind-boggling.
I think old mate Ganane smoking cigars, drinking high quality scotch, you know, making phone calls at hotels late at night. You know, this guy, he said a couple of things lately. Look, I prefer his drama. I don't mind his moment calling most of the time. But Matty Thompson's like, he's still talking about stuff 10 seconds after the try's been scored. Trying to say stuff, but
it's for you, Bucko. Hey,
Bucko. All right. Sorry for cutting you off, Gaz.
No, all good, mate. No worries. I'm used to it by now.
Matt's thrown in $15 as well, so big thank you to you, Matt.
Thanks,
that's
Matt.
2 tickets in the draw for you as well. So what are we up to?
We're pushing for today, mate. We've got 10 plus what we've done today.
50 today, so we're up to 60, $40 more in
not
the
far
draw.
from a draw today, guys. Not far from a draw. Still a bit of time up our sleeve, guys. Make sure you're all supporting, guys. It takes a lot for Michael to put all this stuff together. You know, we do it for love. Yes, we do it for the love of the team, but it's still any support you guys can do. Like, even though Michael's giving most of it away here, guys, it's very generous of him, but it still costs some money to just do all this and pay for all these platforms and get all this stuff done and promote it all, etc. So, anything you guys can do to help out, much appreciated. So,
thanks, brother.
No worries.
That's all right, Martin. That's all right for your opinion, brother. But what I'm saying is that it had to come together. The fitness and their whole regime was impacted this year. It was a lot different. As I've said every week, that second round bye, it was always going to be difficult. Gus didn't hide behind it. To beat the Raiders was massive, to bank those points. We got the job done against the Dragons in difficult circumstances, and then we lost by 8 points twice in games where we were. I think Newcastle looked better than us, even in the grind early in that game. But then we had our moment coming back and got it back to within 4 or 6 points. Against South, we looked the better side until we had the injury. So you can't say they weren't putting in. One player came on the field, got turned in. Obviously, his old coach was coaching against him and knew to keep going that way in a certain way. They drew Kickow in from the edge to a little bit towards the middle. Kurt Mann had to come across. Kurt Mann's the one who's got Jai Gray covered. Jai Gray holds the ball up for that little bit of a stutter, which is what turned Sean O'Sullivan in. And that happened 2 times and we conceded off it. So the rest were off kicks. Yep. So I don't think we didn't put in. And I'll argue about it. That's what I'm here for, to give you the other side of your narrative. And
the signs were really good in that first half. The signs were so good in that first half that they knew if they can just replicate that against Penrith, they were going to win the game, and they did. Look, if you look at the Penrith game that we had the other day, guys, yes, we were up 16-0 and Penrith came back, but between the 17th minute and the 5th minute of the first half, we had one set. So Penrith just had the ball, and they won two challenges in that time as well. When we were supposed to get the ball back, they'd won 2 challenges.
Yep.
And that try that they scored even for Edwards, that wasn't a try from a lack of effort. That was just us overreading the play, expecting to go out past him. So the guys were there. Like King had to end up making that tackle on his own when Tracy and Mann went too far, like, making sure they were getting ready to support the guys on the outside. But that we didn't have the possession. They kept talking. We only made 2 mistakes in that first half. So the commentator, everyone's talking about all the mistakes we made late in the game. We gave away some 6 agains with 2 penalties that we had for offsides that were not offsides. Both of them were clearly Hayward standing in line with the referee when they played the ball. So all these things they never shied away from. The moment we started getting the ball back, we straight away were on the attack and we scored. We looked good. Yep. It was only that period we had in that second half where we lost, a couple of, Hayes knocked it on by just looking up. There was the one where
the ball from Birdo to Hayward.
The little pop on the inside, Hayward, and then that probably caused Hayward to. They said that's it. He lasted another 3 minutes. He took him off, and that was the right call. Turpin looked really good.
We had moments there that we could have been punished for.
Yeah.
But it was, that's so what we're saying and arguing against is that the Bulldogs were building. They had some great moments over those other games, and we've had 2 poor halves of footy.
That's it.
Yeah, and things didn't go all our way against Penrith, as Gus just explained. So this is a team, guys. This is a good side with a lot of heart, with a good system that gives it a red hot crack every week. And to lose by 8 points 2 games in a row, it wasn't the drama everyone wanted to make it out to be. Oh, this is pathetic. We need changes. I went back and watched all the Kennel stuff that they said. They were like our club's basically indicating our club's going in the wrong direction. That we're not playing the right team every week and all this sort of stuff. But we're going to have this issue again because we're going to be talking about who should come into the side, which puts a lot of pressure, media, outside noise pressure on some of our backline players because we've got to talk about Cherry and Tuala and Critter and Montoya. And I suppose no one's going to talk about Carraz in that either. So Carraz and Critter have their spot, and the other 3 are trying to fit into 2. And then you've got Rinikama and Sua in the background. Okay? That's basically what we've got to choose from. And let's hit that right on the head right now, eh? Are we right to do that, Gus?
Let's go, mate. Let's go. And don't forget, guys, for those who were listening last Tuesday, we were one of the very, very few, if any, other podcasts that were actually talking about how we were going to win and why we were going to win last week.
Exactly.
Where everyone else was talking about how much can we lose by.
Yeah.
We were telling you why we were going to win. We were explaining it to you. If you go back and watch that podcast, which I did as well, you'll be surprised at how positive we were and genuinely telling you what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. So, and those who were listening last week, we were vindicated in our approach. So, it just everything kept building towards us winning, guys. It was just adding up. It was just, and we just had all the reasons for it. And it was just a culmination of everything, guys. It had to happen. Even Critter being out was another reason. Like all these little things added up, guys, and we all believed. And a lot of you that came on as well were supportive of that as well. So thank you. Yeah,
we loved it, mate, guys. We loved our community, the support that you give the Bulldogs, but more importantly. And look, we don't all have to agree on everything. That's fine. But you come here, a lot of people come here, and a lot of people that have stayed used to sometimes act like, be really harsh on our club and our players and our team when we were suffering, and have changed their mindset a little bit and feel better about it. We're the podcast of hope. And it's stronger to sit there and have hope and back your club when everyone else is saying no.
Yep.
That's to me, that's the strength. We, and not just to sit there and look, honestly, I can't stand people who just sit there and see a result or a couple of results and then just starts going, oh yeah, it's normal, but the Bulldogs are going to win by 50 and this team's going to lose by 60 because they were shit for a couple of weeks or whatever. If you're watching the games and you're watching what's happening, you start to see there's all these things that there's definite reasons. Like the Storm have lost 4 in a row, but they're still not a headline act as far as negativity goes. It's a couple of independents, talking about who should Bellamy's replacement be. They're showing that footage of him with Chan, and someone was saying, maybe that's not the way to handle players anymore, and blah, 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 blah. And they still say Munster and Grant and Hughes and whoever else are the greatest players of all time. Penrith have one fucking loss against the Bulldogs, and the headlines about how Cleary, isn't as good as he is.
Blueprint for Origin.
What about the Molly?
Oh,
what was his blueprint for Origin? Put pressure on the Bulldogs. Put pressure on Nathan Cleary when he was kicking. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Retire, mate. Go see Buzz. Go hang with Buzz, brother.
D's comment there. Last year, we talked a lot about ticking boxes. We finally ticked off the beating a full-strength Panthers box. 100% D. What do you see as the next box we need to tick?
Great question, D. Well, many people are going to say winning a semi-final, but I think there's a lot more work to be done before that. I think the next box that a lot of people would love to see is the Bulldogs put 50 or 60 on someone that's, in form and playing well. It just hasn't been our way, but I think there would be a lot to gain from that. A question that was asked about that we didn't really answer about, do the boys play more freely when Critter's not in the team? That may go back to the fact that we beat the Broncos in Brisbane without Critter that day. I would say it was the Broncos' best team they'd put on the paddock all season, but they all were a little bit underdone, and I don't think they expected the ambush that they got. And we did play a lot of early ball out wide. So what I've noticed this year is there's been a lot of passing out wide, but it's gone through the hands. Whereas against that Penrith game, I saw a lot more early ball and more depth on the people running onto it. I don't think the Panthers thought that Bronson Cherry would be getting the ball as early off Burton. And I think that opened things up a little bit for us as well and sort of put them in two minds on that side of the field. But it was the other side of the field where we punished them over and over again.
Well, it helped that we kept making those line breaks, and then we were just going straight. We were going straight off those plays. So every time, Tawala or Preston, when Preston went through, then gave it back to Galvin when he had to reach out and pull it back in again, they went straight off that and got in the corner. So they were doing that a lot, which was good. They didn't slow down on that.
Talking about Harry did a little feature on Galvin. Why he has doubts about him as a halfback going back to round one, where we saw Galvin go the short play to Preston, which is his bread and butter, right? That's where his most trust lies. They've got that trust with each other. And there's moments where it's like he wants to go out the back. But teams have just been up in our face, especially in the first two rounds. So Galvin sometimes went behind when it sort of wasn't on. And then when we saw happen a lot more from round 3 and 4 is Galvin, where they rushed us on the outside, and Galvin took the run, took the medicine, took the hit up.
You have to turn back in and run himself.
Yeah, and do that a lot. And he sort of had no one with him a lot of the time.
Yep.
As you're pointing out as well. What happened this week is that and as I said, I mentioned this in the review, we had the two front rowers supporting either side, and they sort of had their shift set to go left, mainly from the right to the left. But instead of going out on the shift, they went short into the prop, and our forwards put them on the back foot, which meant you've got a Nathan Cleary and you've got their and Blaze Talangi in that, or whoever's on the right at the time, rushing up, right, and then coming back, and then we've shifted really quickly and got it way through the hands quickly, and then Kickout's got all that space where he put on a massive great step on Isaiah Yeo. But that was because their line speed was good on that previous play, but Galvin went short to, I think, to Harry Hayes on that one.
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah, but he was doing that a bit. And if you go back to the Newcastle trial, he just kept doing that for Sam Hughes. So they've been working on that. And it's like, all right, we've set up the play. Panthers have overcommitted. Quick play the ball off the front rower with the leg speed, getting the post contact, cracking the line, and shift straight out there again and try time. And then they probably thought we're going to go there all day. And what do? We hit the other side.
That's it.
Just relentlessly. And they were hitting the same side with their players. So Blaze Talangi and that were attacking Galvin all night.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So
they tried to burn him and wear him out, but his fitness is that good that he was on the whole game, and he kept delivering. And look, and the other thing we spoke about in the review, we spoke about the kicking game, and Michael, you mentioned how they wanted Galvin to kick to keep it down. I think there was two things. I mean, I mentioned it on first of all, I think potentially there was maybe something to do with Birdo having some type of small injury that he wanted Galvin to kick. But the other thing I thought was very, very telling was we didn't kick the Brian To'o guys. We stayed away from To'o. We all know when To'o gets a bit of head of steam up, when he's coming back, he gets them off on the front foot. But Jenkins, we were tackling him a lot easier at the back there, and even Edwards down the side. So we kept kicking from Galvin's side. Everybody kept talking. Even if you listen to the press conference before the game when they spoke about to Ivan Cleary, he was talking about Birdo's kicking game as well. So they were prepared for Birdo's kicking game when we threw at them Galvin the whole game, especially down the right. The one time, and my only thing was, and I spoke about it last week's review about how Birdo's kicking game is important. Birdo had one kick from the, I think it was a 30-meter line where he kicked it in their half. And that was the one, if you remember, when Montoya was able to get up above and bat the ball back. Now, even though it was taken by the Panthers, his kicking game and the height that he puts and the precision allowed us to get under there. Where when Galvin was kicking, we had a few opportunities, yes, where we got Jenkins at the same time. Tuala got him as well and knocked the ball, and the ball came out. And we did that twice. So Birdo gives us a little bit more with the kicking game, but I think the more Galvin kicks, the more confidence he'll get. But I still think that strategy was to also stay away from Brian To'o. So having Galvin keep coming down the right with that kicking game and with that defense, and knowing that you've got Preston coming out there and his defense is rock solid. He had 0 missed tackles for the game. It also allows, on the other side, Kickout to have a break, where normally when Birdo's kicking down the left, he's rushing down there to get there first, which makes Kickout more potent in attack as well, guys. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. Some of it might just be coincidental, but I think that all of these little things add up to what the strategy is for the Bulldogs. It doesn't mean they're going to do it every week, but I'll be interested to see what they do against Parramatta. And you got to remember, guys, Parramatta is missing 12 players in their team that could potentially be playing. So they're a team that is decimated with injuries. So they're not playing at full capacity. And even last week alone, guys, they lost in Golden Point to the tabletop and Tigers. So they're still around the money. They're still there. So they're not a team to be sort of, looked at lightly. And that they play better, those sort of attacking play. They still got Moses and the Fox guys. They're a very dangerous team. Just those two players alone that we need to keep an eye on.
All right, let's go for a few chats before we look at the team.
Yeah, mate, go for it.
David Brighton has left the club, and hopefully might see him at the Bulldogs again one day, but jumped on a plane, went back to Queensland.
Homesick.
But by all reports, hard to say, but young kid with a bit of a young mind is all I'm going to say there, which is normal, but sometimes they're just not right for us. And he probably didn't feel like he was a Bulldog right now. Timmy says he likes Mace Andrew. So does Willie Mason likes him too because he's named after Willie Mason. I love Nev17. Welcome to you. I love Connor Tracy so much. Bulla is next level. I think he propels us into finals ready side. Also, I'd love to see Loco at our club adding depth. Look, there's just got to be a place for him. If they're the right people, they'll be picked based on that. If the club's interested in players, if they're good people, they've got good talent. They're a chance to become Bulldogs if that's where they want to take their career. So I think Bulla will be next level, but defensively he's not. Look, Connor Tracy's a little guy. When you got a big guy running and you're the last line, fullbacks get stepped. But he's done some pretty good defensive work in some big moments for us in the last couple of years, and he's getting better and better. Bulla isn't at that level yet, in my opinion, but he will get there. And from an attacking point of view, the kid's very exciting to watch. But as I said, we've got some youngsters called like Raymond Peru and Tay Cochran who are developing nicely, so he's not a must. Andy, what games come to mind with Leo Thompson? So I can watch how he plays. I can't find much on his highlights reel. Go watch him against the Bulldogs last year. He played 70 minutes because they lost Saifidi when he was running out onto the field. And they were down interchanges, and then I think they got another injury as well.
He had a big game. He had a big game against Melbourne in 2023 as well. It was a
big game, yes. And there was, I think the final was it 2023 New Zealand versus Australia when they beat us 30-0. He was massive in that series as well, playing for New Zealand. So there's some good. It's hard. That's the hard thing, Andy, is to get highlights when your mini matches and all that. All they give a fuck about is people scoring tries or a massive big hit or a no try or something. Or if they want to focus on a specific player making mistakes, sometimes they show them as well. But, that's one of the things. To create highlights for big fellas is hard unless they're scoring tries and stuff. You sort of got to go through and cut it all yourself, and it just takes forever to do something. Brian says, probably because I grew up, but I miss Ray Rabbit's roaring. That's a try.
Yeah, he came and did a talk to us once at work, and they told us how he got into commentating. He used to do what most people that loved the horses. He used to roll marbles down a board and call them as they ran down the board.
Look, guys, I know every one of those marbles' names, and I used to commentate them down a board.
Hey guys, so when anyone says that Michael's gone marbles, there you go, guys.
But used to do the same thing, and every Melbourne Cup, I watch the race a million times, turn it down, and try and commentate the race, and usually memorize it. I usually memorize it before it runs to try and hopefully with the horse that I'm back and winning it. So I don't mind.
Yeah.
I know Gas doesn't like gambling and stuff, but I like it more as a sport. You don't have to put money on it. But anyway, just love competing, love watching things race, love watching things punch each other and attack each other. That's we love sport. That's why we do it. Love the swimming at the Olympics, the athletics. You know, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. I'm sure they can, but not too many people race the marbles. It's a very select few people who ever did that. My mate actually used to get at a massive long pine wood board that was about 2 or 3 meters long, and his dad built for him the racetrack. It used to take about 15 seconds for him to do it, but we used to commentate it. Used to do form guides a lot. But anyway, bit of a weird one.
We'll talk about that shortly when we go through the team.
Dogs are going to win easy. Okay.
Harry's seen Galvin on Monday at Shoe Grab. He's a giant, very humble. You want to show us the background there, Michael? Take that off.
Hey?
Show us the background there. Take that stuff off. Show us Aki with the boys. Or is it hard for you to put back on? There we go, guys. There's Aki out there as well the other day. There we go. Look at Matty Burden. What's going on there?
He's unhappy, man. He's unhappy. He's fractured. They look fractured, man.
Yeah, they look fractured, yeah.
They're fractured. So that's what all the talk, guys, that's what all the talk was going to be, bros.
That's it.
It's going to be how fractured the team was. They didn't, their attitude's wrong. Matty Burton's sick of not playing. Matty Burton's sick of not playing 5'8". The communication lie that Serrato's talking about just to say stuff, blah, 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 blah. They were setting it all up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's go through the teams, mate. Let's go through the teams.
Let's go back to it. All right, here we go.
Well done to everyone who went out the other day to Shoe Grab. Apparently there was, like you were saying, there were people waiting 3 or 4 hours to get in. It was chaos. People were waiting all the way around the block. It was unbelievable. So great support, guys. Obviously helped having that win under your belt, but yeah, great support to see the players there that day. Would have been a good experience.
Old Mark, who used to be on the show, the best fullback in the Bulldogs club. Now at the Eels, got a great opportunity and is doing pretty well there. And Isaiah Iongi's going to be out for a while, so they'll have to watch Joash very closely. He'll be wanting a massive game against his old club. But expect the Bulldogs boys to be putting him under a lot of pressure. But they won't want to run. I could see him dancing around kick out maybe a couple of times. So we need to make sure we're doing the right thing. Brian Kelly, a very experienced, good footballer. Obviously, we've got Jacob Carraz, Will Penasini, who scored points on us. I think in his last 2 or 3 games, he scored tries. Anari Tuwala, Sean Russell, who's doing pretty well at centre, scored an amazing try earlier in the year. Bronson Cherry currently in the side. Josh Adokar will be looking to have a massive game against the Bulldogs. They've still got a lot of speed in that team. They've got experience. Ronald Volkman will be looking for a big match at 5'8". Obviously, Jonah Peze has got a hamstring injury or something like that. Mitchell Moses will be a lot better than he was against the Titans, up against Matty Burton and Lockie Galvin. Luca Moretti, who I think is a very good rugby league player, was going great guns for their team last year before sort of as they started to rise out of that early bad start they had. Sammy Hughes gets the 8 jersey. Riley Smith, the doppelganger of Reed Marnie. And Bailey Hayward, our future New South Wales hooker, you've heard it here first, is at number 9. I'm going to get slammed for that comment, but that's okay. You can slam me. That's all right. And I'm not even going to argue against you or say anything.
That's going to
But
be the evolution of the Bulldogs when he starts running the ball, when he gets that confidence. That's going to be the evolution. When at the moment with these fast ruck speed and everything, those hookers coming out and running and causing chaos, like Little the other day and all those Harry Grants. When Bailey starts doing that as well, guys, that's just going to take us to another level altogether.
I don't think Bailey's ever going to be like Harry Grant in that way. I think it'll be more the Cameron Smith style, like when you least expect it, he's going to run, but he's going to bring players onto the ball and evolve from that, heads up stuff, be the conductor of a lot of plays and that sort of thing.
And they'll come with him. The players will come with him when he starts doing that. At the moment, they're not expecting that, so they're still hanging back.
Yeah, but I found like last week, if you go watch just Bailey Hayward, bringing those guys onto the ball and he's done some good things in attack, guys. And
passes were very crisp.
Yep, they were out in front, much better.
Yep.
Our passing was much better. It's actually improved over the last couple of weeks. Even against Souths, it was a lot better than what it had been.
Yes.
And what happened with Penrith, they had a poor passing game, which is what we talked about.
Yep.
But they were still pretty – that first try they got, the passing was pretty fucking good. I'll tell you that much. Junior Paulo, who is always up for a big game against the Dogs, a real enforcer, and Leo Thompson. Charlie Geimer, another one. One that I like Charlie. I like Charlie and Luca. They're the sort of – I see them as players that could wear blue and white. They've got that work ethic. I don't mind them guys. Big kick out. I'll be looking to terrorise Volkman and Moses. But when we talk the keys to victory, which will be a second video that I do, and Gaz knows about this as well as I do, so does everyone I talk to, rushing up on Mitchell Moses is fraught with danger.
Fraught with danger. Doesn't always work, guys.
Jack Williams, one of the fastest. Remember that try nearly scored against the Bulldogs where he made the break from halfway? Jack playing for Cronulla. I think we beat him in that game. I think Sean Johnson was still playing for him. And, God, he's got some speed. He's as fast as a centre. Back on an edge, I really liked him playing in the middle, actually. I thought he was off the bench in the middle. He was great value. So Jacob Preston, Dylan Walker having to now Dylan Walker to me is like our Kurt Mann, right? So him having to start means that they are weakened because he's much better when the pace is out of the game. He can handle it for sure, just like Kurt can. He can start and handle it against different opposition, but they're much better when they come off the bench. That's the sort of stuff that they've been doing. Jamin Salmon, best game for the club last week. Many would agree.
100%.
13 hit-ups, and a lot of them are quite. He got smashed, I think, once where he got driven back by the third man. But he gets up and plays the ball. He rarely drops a footy, and his passing was spot on.
Yeah,
and he engaged the line. He is the link man, guys, and he works his ass off. Get behind.
He was playing against the benchmark, and he aimed up.
His old team, and now he's got to do it against Para.
But against Isaiah, he knew he was playing against the benchmark, and he aimed up. He actually delivered against him, And I could see they brought him on a little bit earlier than they normally would. They kept him out to the end of the game, so it was good. Him and sort of Turpin at the end there really kept us going. And after Turpin we scored that really last try that Satili scored, they didn't come back in our half. They didn't come back in our half very rarely. We didn't get them in there. They kept losing the ball around that halfway mark. So we controlled the game. We never let them back in the game. So that's a lot of what Salmon did as well, guys.
All right. Let's keep Talon De Silva, who's struggled in his time at the at the Eels. Been up and down, but they're going to stick with him. Like, I think they see him potentially as the. I think Talon and Riley Smith will make a really good combination over a number of years. I really do. I think Riley's that starting guy, and Talon's got that attacking flair. But doing it against seasoned operators week in, week out, it's tough. Saxon Pryke, don't know nothing about him. Satili Tupanua. Now, Jack DeBellin would probably have a lot to prove because he has been, if I was ever going to criticise a player, his performance for Parramatta has been, he just looks like an unfit. It's like watching Tavita when he wasn't fit. He's just been getting caught out and watching him continually try and go to second marker after not taking part in a tackle. They're signs of me of players that are really struggling with their fitness or and being a bit lazy. Maybe he had a little injury or whatever, and he's just trying to get out there and get himself going. But you can't hide in the NRL, and he would know that. So I'm expecting him to have a big game. Harry Hayes, we saw how important Harry Hayes was to us, guys.
Big time.
You got this. If you didn't realise it, you realise it now. That's why he's on my wall right there.
Yes, still unbeaten, guys. But even when he made that one mistake, he forced 2 errors in defence. Hitting those players, he knocked the ball out. Like, he was on fire. Like, he is such an important player for us. I'm hoping he's okay. Like, just hoping it was just a burner or something when he ran off the field limping at the end there. But obviously he's been picked to play, so he should be okay. But he's a critical part to our team, guys. Very, very important. And look, when we lost King early on in the game, when he went off, after 10 minutes, he came on and he just didn't miss a beat, guys. Kept the momentum, kept us going forward, cut through the line a few times. But defensively as well, he's just so strong. So, yeah, you can see why we've won 3 games out of 3 with Harry in the team, guys. No coincidence.
100%. So Tony Mattelli, Jake Turpin, we've got Teencum Brown, Jonathan Suar is the 19, Lipoy Hotboy, Raz Namva from the Eels, Lorenzo Talatena, Josh Curran, Josiah Funaluta, AJ Jones, Stephen Crichton, and Muhammad Alamadine, who I think is the brother of Zayn Alamadine. They look alike and have the same last name. So,
and just remember, guys, there's a unique situation at Combank. There's a unique situation at Combank this week, guys. New South Wales Cup is actually being played after the first grade game.
There you go.
On the same field. So if you're there and you want to hang around and see the Cup boys go, you can stay back and watch that game as well. I've just put the poll up there, guys. If you guys want to go on there and let us know who's coming as well. Happy to see you out there. We'll be out there, guys. We'll be in the south, wherever we book the tickets. But yeah, come out and see us. Look for the banner. But yeah, guys, there's 2 games this week. So a lot of these players that might not play, that might not get picked, the reserves, they'll be playing in that game coming straight up afterwards, guys, as well. So if they don't get picked for one game, they'll be picked for the second game. Thanks for your comments, Martin.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, mate, beautiful. Yeah, it's not an argument, brother. That's right. Just that's why you're here, to hear another view. Night, Joby. See you tomorrow, brother.
See you, buddy.
My next box to tick is that we win every game. Well done,
there
Brian.
you go, mate. Love it.
God bless us. Thank you.
Thanks, Haz.
And I love Nev 17. Those Hayward penalty calls were because I went and watched them straight away. I knew he wasn't offside. Harry says Galvin was outstanding with his pass selections and the timing of his short passes were brilliant. He had Panthers defensive line guessing because he also changed up going wide or taking on the line. That's right. But I do think the way the team planned for it and what they've been working on is also makes a big difference. And that's what we keep saying. To go out there round one and nail some plays, but also get some wrong. And I even said it the other time, when he went to kick our short, the way he held it up, Cleary and that all got interested, he goes out to Cherry. It's a 2-on-1 against To'o. Now To'o's doing an intercept or knocking it down, or we're scoring. It's one of the two.
And if you listen to Cronk's comment as well, which was pretty good sort of insight. He said if he took that one more step and stepped in towards Cleary as well, he would have grabbed his attention. If he still wanted to go kick out, then he would have had him more of a one-on-one rather than people jumping in on him, which is why he lost the ball. So there's other ways. Yeah, like Michael said, he could have gone out the back, but also if he takes that extra step inside, he then sucks in that inside play. So all these little things, I'm sure that he'll go back and he'll learn from. And he's been doing that all year, guys. He's been doing that all year. He's been working on everything. And every time he gets something, they go and sit there. They go through the review, the videos, and then they go out on the training paddock and he keeps working on it to get it right. So from where you saw him even this year in round one to what he's doing now, you can see how the players have started to adjust to the way he wants to play, and they're coming with him. And it's only going to get better and better, guys. This is the beauty. He's that good a player, and 20-year-old, 50 games, that good a player that he's still improving every game right in front of our eyes. So it's a long journey, guys, a long journey for him. But I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I'm sure you got a good taste of that last Thursday night, and you're all excited about that as well.
All right, guys. So, look, my predicted bench will be, obviously, it'll be Kurt Mann. It'll be Satili Tupanua. It'll be Harry Hayes. If Harry's not injured from what happened the other day, and I've heard nothing, Turpin he will keep the 17 jumper, and he will be in the 4. The other two that will make the 19-man bench, in my opinion, will be Jonathan Sewer and Josh Curran. If Curran's obviously fit, he'll be go ahead to next man up. That's who I believe will be playing as our bench come Sunday. It'll be Mann, Tupanua, Harry Hayes, Turpin, Sewer, and Curran is what I think it'll be. What's going to happen if Critter is fit? If Critter's fit, I think he will replace Sewer out of that 6-man bench. And come an hour and a half before the game, he will start, in my opinion. Or they might just put him on that 6-man bench if he's needed to come on. But I can't see them having Critter sitting on a 6-man bench. If he's fit to go, he plays, in my opinion. So he's either going to be ruled out come, say, Friday, or they keep him in the 7-man bench, and then he drops out an hour and a half or an hour before the game when they name the final list, is what I'm predicting. But I have no idea. But I think Curran will come in for Hot Boy, and it'll be Turpin, Sewer as the back cover and Curran as the forward cover. If the game's going well and there's no need to bring a Jake Turpin on, Curran gets a run and Turpin then drops back and plays New South Wales Cup after this game is finished. That's what I think will happen. Obviously, if we lose a centre, I think Sewer will come on. Or they can always, move Matty Burton out in the centres, put Bailey Hayward into 5'8" and chuck Turpin into hooker. There's lots they can do, and people don't want to hear about that stuff, but that's why we pick versatile players, guys, and that's why they train in all different positions. There's lots that they can do, or they just give Jonathan Sewer a crack at playing centre against one of his biggest rivals, being a Bulldogs junior. He would love to come up against I'm pretty sure it's his cousin, Joash Papali. He would love an opportunity to go out there and have a crack. If Critter is fit to play, he will start. A lot of people would suggest that Montoya would be the one to come out of the three because they think Tuala's faster, or he is faster and he's earned his spot, and Cherry is important. Move Cherry back to the left and Critter comes back on the right. I don't see any of that happening, guys. I could be 100% wrong, and I'm happy to own it if I'm wrong. But based on what I've seen from our coach and from implementing plans, that if Critter is right to go, Bronson will drop back to the backs cover, and Sewer will miss out on the 6. And they might not make that change until an hour before the game. So that's what I think will happen, and there'll be no other changes. And win, lose, or draw this week, I think that's how it will remain. So Cherry's in there as the next man up, and to take all and to play the greatest games he can. And he played really well the other day. Birdo gave him early ball, which brought Carraz into the game a lot more as well. Carraz had to go, although they weren't getting many opportunities on the left, Carraz had to go hunting for the ball, really put in that second half, got a lot more touches and a lot more hit-ups. Looked dangerous every time he ran the footy. He's getting his fitness back. He's that great preseason that Gus said that he had, he's going to really start to pay off over the next few weeks if he doesn't get injured or reoccur an injury. Fingers crossed, if I can cross them. So there's my thoughts there, guys. What's your thoughts, Gas?
Look, I'm not too dissimilar. My only gut feeling is that I feel that, unfortunately, unless there's going to be an injury in the back line, I can't see Serralda yet making any mass changes
Exactly.
to the team. As much as we all, want to romanticize about it, let's call it that, and think that, this is going to be the best way. Like, Cherry had another good game. I think for me, Cherry's not out of the sort of the hen house yet. He's still he still got a lot of redeeming to do for me. So yes, he was the next man up, and he was the best option for us on Thursday. But I still feel like he's got a lot of a lot to pay back for the way that things just played out. But unless there's an injury at the moment outside of what we've got, which is not a good way to look at it, I don't see them changing it at the moment.
They just don't. They just don't do it. They stick
Serraldo's
to the plan.
been very consistent with that. The only way that Serraldo would go away from any plan for me is for one thing, is if a player is not executing the defensive plays the way he wants it.
Yes.
So if that starts to happen, that's where, for me, he will start looking outside of what he does. He's shown already by dropping Cherry that if something is not working, for him, the way he wants it, he'll make that change. Yep. And we saw that with Blake Wilson. We see that with other players. It's very strong for him. So Montoya's still strong in that area. Yes, people can look and say he made some defensive errors the other day. For me, yes, the first one, if I think if he doesn't come in, there's a good chance that Casey goes straight through and scores that try anyway. If he doesn't come in and shut him down, and then he still threw a great pass to Jenkins, running the other way basically. So that was still a great execution. And the other one for me was just probably, for me, it was just not having his hands up high enough. Now he's running back for the ball. In my eyes, that needed to be something where you weren't trying to catch it, you were trying to punch it over the dead ball line. It just looked to me like he didn't even know that Jenkins was there, and he was just trying to catch it on his chest. So whatever that read was from his side, because he had to turn and run the other way. Normally when you're running forward from a back, so the Bulldogs had gone up when the ball had bounced on the ground, and then he had to retreat when Cleary managed to get the ball and kick it in there. And obviously anyone knows that when you're running forward towards the ball, you've got to have a bigger leap. But for me, I just felt like Montoya could have done a better chance to bat the ball dead in that instance. So that's still not a defensive decision. So I don't think Serraldo will be too punishing on something like that. If that's something that happens over a few games and it starts costing the team, then yes. But at the moment, that's the team. Montoya's very, very important for us as an extra forward coming off our line, getting the blokes up the field and, doing his job. And he's very, very tough and scores good tries at that back line. And Tuala, in his third game, no one's talking about replacing him, guys. You know, he's been playing in 4 games. He's been very, very solid, been one of our best players, proved to us why Serraldo put him in the team. He's hit the ground running. He hasn't missed a beat. How many line breaks the other day, guys? Always coming through, coming out the other side defensively. For me, he's actually probably been a little bit stronger than Critter in the last few games before Critter got injured. Critter's had some ordinary moments. So you can't challenge that. But I don't see Serraldo making any of these mass changes yet. If things were to turn south, then maybe he'd look at it. But like Michael said, it's only round 7. The team's winning. They're doing well. You always want to do as minimal changes as you can. You want to bring something in. And I think the more that Serraldo coaches, the more he'll learn himself what he feels is going to be best for the team. It's great to plan for all these extravagant things in the game, but sometimes just keeping it a little bit more simple and just trusting your gut, it works. So
and that's what they do.
I feel like that'll be the team. The only thing for me is I think Turpin for me will probably be the 4th player used. Obviously, depending on any serious injuries or anything up in the top team, but I feel like he'll get another 20 minutes. I think he'll want to keep him as a backup and running well in that game. It just depends on how close the game is, guys, as well.
Well, I said he was definitely going to. I was pretty close to 100% sure that Bailey Hale was going to need a break against Penrith. So I was sure that Turpin was going to play. In this game, though, if we're 20 minutes out or 30 minutes to go and things are going well, I just think that they use the extra forward because it gives you a bit. Look, Terps can come in and play lock, or they push Bailey back to lock without too much problems. It just depends how the game shapes. It's really
a day game as well. It's a day game as well. We got caught out against Newcastle in that day game as well. So so I just feel like they'll be ready for anything that might come. But as a day game, like at the moment this year, we've actually gone the other way. We've actually been playing better at the night games than the day games. Even against the Rabbitohs was a day game. We didn't get the result in those 2 losses. They were day games. Where last year we only lost 1 day game before the finals. So I think that's something that'll come into play potentially for them as well. But I just feel like if there's no changes, everything is fine, there's no injuries, I feel like Turpin might be the man ahead of Curran for me anyway in this game. So
it's just going to depend on what they need at the time.
Correct.
Just basically, if you can predict how the game's going to go, that's who you're going to pick. G'day, Pete. Great to see you, mate. It has been, we knew after 5 minutes the Dogs were on, but we still had to earn it. And it was, 12-6 with 19 minutes to go or something against Para last year. And then that was in Galvin's first game of rugby league for the Bulldogs, so which was a great day out in some poor weather. Harry says, best game I've seen Galvin play. We'll talk about Origin later, Timmy. Dominant ruck speed was good, but they held us down as well.
Yeah.
And as I said, Harry, the reason our forwards were able to make good ground is the way that our hooker and our spine utilise them in specific moments. You know, it was Penrith didn't just capitulate through the middle. Like, they were holding their own as well. They were doing well, but I think we made an extra 5 or 10 metres per set, which is something we've still been doing with this supposed forward pack. They've been winning the distance battle.
No size or anything, yeah.
Look, we do. I understand the issue sometimes. Harry says, relentless footy, it's a simple game. Run hard, tackle hard, kick long, chase hard, win the ruck, and quick play the ball. Well, and the other part we're not talking about, and I suggested this as well, was that Galvin would kick. Burton didn't kick as much. So,
but there's one thing to that argument though as well, Mick. There's one thing to that argument as well.
Well, Birdo's got a bit of an injury.
No. Something else that I haven't mentioned yet. The fact that we were running over 50 meters per set, we didn't need the long kick
Yeah,
from Burton
exactly.
so if we were stuck in our half like we have been at times last year in 20, 30 metres out and not having, then you would have needed Burton's long kicking game. But because we were kicking from that halfway line most of the time, we were getting that good run out, then using Galvin made sense for us. Because it kept it,
But
so the game just worked out well for us,
They have to keep him doing it. And he actually did a couple from actually inside the 40 as well, or just on it. So I think our average set was about 44 metres.
Well, 51 in the first. So we were doing well every time we had the ball.
Yeah.
So
and when you're doing that as well, your forwards are going to make over 100 metres each, right?
Correct.
When you've got the field position, because your back threes are getting the ball and and it's taken a while before they're getting tackled, so that you start off from a good position, which means your forwards can get behind the ball easier, which means that they can contribute to you getting out of yardage a little bit. See, this is where it changed, and this is what I'm trying to talk about, why Montoya is there at the moment, because when you start getting Thompson and King doing their thing and playing their 40 minutes each, it enables you to change things up a little bit with how you come out of your own end, and whether you can carry someone that can defend well but maybe has a bit more speed as well, and it doesn't have to be as huge as an extra forward. Montoya is like an extra forward for us.
Yes.
And he's not Brian Toto, right? Brian Toto is an enigma. He's an outlier. He's different to everyone else. Carraz, you then had Carraz and Zach Lomax, in my opinion, which were very similar types, right? They could just make hundreds of meters, offload, do all sorts of different things. And then you got your forwards out of yardage, and that's what Montoya is for us. But so his need is there for a certain reason to have us in good field position. But as we get sort of develop that 80-minute lock that I've talked about, which could be a Galvin, right? And develop these players, you can start to shift, like change the chess pieces a little bit and attack in a little different way and be more dominant and more balanced across the park. Right now, we have this game style which suits the players we have. And if the thing is, if you just go and throw Montoya out and throw some skinny winger out there, they'll have a crack because they're a Bulldog. But it's a different thing. Yeah, they might be able to get in behind and finish a movement off 50 meters out a lot easier. For example, like Montoya's pretty good if you're getting 10 meters out. But I know what people are thinking about. That it's like when you make those breaks and get on the outside of teams when you're 40, 50 meters out, he sort of just lacks that speed over that distance. And I see the same things, guys, but you just got to understand why he's there and why he's important to the team right now. And just with his podcast alone, he should get a spot on the side because he's a legend. And he's loved by our club, and he loves our club, and he always did. He had to leave because he had injuries and the way he was treated and everything like that by fans. He's never been dropped from first grade, from what I can see, since he went to the Warriors. So if he's been available, he's played. There's a reason that Marcelo Montoya is in these rugby league sides, and so there will be a time though where the club will pick where someone will outperform Mars, and that's when it'll change. And when they say that we're a better side with someone else in the team, they will make that call then. I don't, as Gaz said, I don't see that happening unless. But if it does happen, I support whatever their process is, and I'm happy with it.
And they'll have their reasons for it.
Bulldogs Mike says he prefers Jack Todd Latu Finau or Finau Latu and Jack Underhill to Loco Pacifica Tonga. Me too, brother. James, as long as he doesn't lose them. Sorry, I was probably too late for that one. But thank you, James. I've still got to show James's house sanctuary. I've got the little video there. I'll try and show it before we go. Bulldog Mike says the next two signings we should be a priority are Matt Burton and Jacob Preston. I think Jacob Preston is going to get himself a very nice deal. I reckon he'll get a 2-year, and then he'll be getting big money and a 4-year deal after that is what I think will happen. Yeah. But, like, I could see him being offered $1 million by a rival. I could see it right now. Why wouldn't you?
Perth Bears, maybe.
Does he want to go to Perth?
No,
Fucking
but that's what I'm
not.
saying. It doesn't mean that he wants to go. They might offer him, I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
There'll be a lot of offers, but it just depends. If he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go. For me, I see him as I've always seen him as captain material, if not just for the Bulldogs, but for New South Wales and maybe even Australia one day. He's that kind of player, guys.
We've always said it. Gus said it too.
There you go. Yeah, ever since I've seen him, he's been captain material.
Timmy loves the video of Kicks, Critter, and Sauce making some cocktails. Luke Goodman's at the Eels. He sure is. Hello's Bert. We can't underestimate the Eels. Oh, thank you, Brian. And guys, that's the other way. So we're up to $70, guys.
Thanks, guys.
There is my phone number. If you want to do pay ID, means that all the money goes to us and nothing goes to the YouTube. Brian's going to look up the video that Tim pointed out. Luke just had it over there for a new opportunity. He talks about it on his Facebook page, guys. All good with the Bulldogs. No dramas there. And now his next chapter's at Parramatta. Obviously, they've offered him a good deal. Man, Hughes, Montoya, and Turpin. Look, I think Sam Hughes might be in line for. Look, I think Hughes, Hopoy, and DSF. I think one of those players will stay at the Bulldogs. Is just my tip. They could all stay. None of them might stay. That's just my tip. Just guessing. Heard nothing. Man, I think they'll be looking at whether he stays another year or whatever. Or could stay another year. He's still playing good footy. Montoya, I think, will get another 1-year extension. Just my belief. And Turpin, I think, will also be one of those players that could get himself an extra year. I don't see any of those players getting a 2-year deal. That's just my opinion. I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. Yeah, he has to mark up. He certainly does, brother. And Andy, we hope to see you next Friday week.
Let's work out a catch-up before the game maybe as well.
Yep. So I hope we can all meet up somewhere and then go and do our thing. There's my man, Hayes. Love the Hayes. Make his way close to my favourite player. 100%. And I'm going to, I'll do up some more canvases and stuff of players, guys, and we'll put them as prizes as well. G'day Heinzie, and thank you for being a member. Keen to see Leo Thompson. I reckon he'll score 2 tries. Oh, that'd be lovely. And what's the poll at the moment?
We got the poll at the moment is, guys, who's coming to the game? So to answer that poll, guys, if you're coming to the game, just type in number 1 and press enter on the chat. If you can't make it, type in number 2 and press enter. And if you're not sure but you want to come, type in number 3 and press enter, guys. So all you do is just press the number that you want and hit send on the chat, and it'll let us know what you're doing. So let us know if you're coming, guys. If you're going to be out there, let's all get out there and support the team.
Alrighty. So who we got up next? Really happy Tracy got resigned. God. I missed a couple, so I just went back.
You're right, mate.
Don't think Critter will play Cup. No, he definitely won't play Cup. And if that's what it sounded like I said, no, I think Turpin will go back to Cup if Turpin doesn't get a run. And I think Curran will play Cup if he doesn't get a run. The players that don't get a run, I think, will play Cup because I don't see Critter. Critter either plays or he's out. He's either starting or he's not playing at all, in my opinion. Max King deserves a Medal of Valor for his toughness against the Panthers. Tough stuff playing with a broken jaw. 100%, mate. And we glazed the heck out of him to start the podcast today.
And it was hitting hard.
Thank you so much, Petey. So we're up to $80, $20 more, and we do our draw, guys. That's how it works.
Well, guys, only a couple each from all of you, and it'll throw us over there, guys. We can do a draw tonight.
And look, we Gaz and I talked about this is a big shout out to Petey. So we get down to his little we talked about the Dogs are going to win and stuff. Pete went out there and I saw the bet that he put on, like tipped us by a big margin, and he tipped some players to score some points and did all right. So, and, he's not spending much either. He's just having a spare $5 or whatever, and that's having faith in your team. I must say that's putting your money where your mouth is. So, but gamble responsibly. Don't condone it unless you want to do it. But if your family's not eating tonight because you're going and having a gamble, go and get help and self-exclude. You heard it here. Brian, for all those players' sake in Cup, I hope Critter doesn't play Cup. That would just be unfair. Good shout out. Oh, Hines, he's going to be at work on Sunday.
Make sure you got a radio in your ear, mate, or AirPod or something on the. You can still jump on the radio if you can, or on your phone and put an AirPod on or something and just listen.
And he says Caxton Schooners before the game. Well, Gas doesn't drink, and we will have a couple of youngsters with us. So, but I think they've got I think there's a little place we can go, but with the youngsters. But definitely hope to meet up. And I'm always happy for one. I don't usually drink at the footy too often, especially at Broncos games. There's just a bunch of dickheads when they start going, I just hate them. Like I swear, there's been 6-year-old girls that I've told to shut up. I didn't know they were. I can't. Last year really pissed me off, guys. Last year, was it round 7, Gas?
Yeah.
When we had 2 players in the bin and they were fucking cheering and putting shit on us. That if any Bulldogs fan acts like that at our games when their opposition's got players in the bin and we're scoring on them, sorry to tell you how to act, but don't act like that. That's how Broncos fans act. It's disgusting. Be happy. Yeah, be happy. But don't rub it into the Bulldogs fans because you got 2 players in the bin.
I think it was round 8 last year, yeah.
God, that made me angry.
Yeah.
And half of them are Lions fans anyway. That annoyed me. There was like 10,000 empty seats, and they were all Broncos members' seats.
Mm. Because
Annoyed
they
me.
said the game was sold out. We sat behind the goalposts, up but a bit higher up, at Brisbane last year. But I thought they said it was sold out, and we're looking around. There's a lot of empty seats there.
Yeah, it was sold out because they can't sell the member seats.
Oh,
They don't turn up. They're all going to watch the Lions.
Because they did that big Anzac celebration before, but
that was great actually. They did a really good job with that. I really love what.
And they brought those big armored vehicles as well, and parked with the machine guns on top and all that stuff. That was a bit scary.
Like I was so angry, I was going to go out there and run in front of their horse that was running around does the laps of the oval. I'm not even sure if he was there last year.
The horse was there, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. Buck.
He was there. Yeah, Buck was there.
Fuck.
But the worst thing for me was when we started scoring tries to come back into that game.
I hate it. I hate the Broncos.
When we started scoring tries to come back in that game and we were cheering, there was a bloke sitting next to us just trying to tell Aki to sit down and shut up. That didn't go down very well.
What happened?
Yeah. When we started scoring and we were coming back into the game, there was a guy sitting next to Aki who was telling him to sit down and shut up.
What did you do?
I gave it to him, mate. He shut up pretty quick, smart. And I got up and started cheering again. I said, mate, we're going to keep doing this, mate. They were getting worried, mate, when we started coming back.
That's the whole thing.
Very well.
That second half, we just played our game and dominated.
Yes. Yeah. It was only until Montoya lost a few balls, but otherwise we were coming back. And then obviously we had that last try, but they were worried. They were worried.
Well, it wasn't because Montoya lost the balls. Because
of that.
He was so fatigued, man.
It stopped the momentum. I'm saying we could have given it a bit more of a sniff. You know what I mean? It just stopped the momentum.
Terrible.
That's all.
Terrible.
Conditions were shocking.
Too.
Yeah, conditions were shocking.
But yeah, I know. I felt sorry for him.
That first half, everything and anything they did was perfect in that first half. Every kick, everything, and then we copped 3 sin bins. Come on, man.
Reed Marnie, never seen him run out of the line like that before.
Satilli, see you later. Curran, come on, man.
Preston knocked on off the kickoff. Nothing went right from there.
Exactly.
But what we won 6 in a row, and apparently we were a much better attacking side back then.
Yeah.
No, we weren't. We're a way better attacking side now than we were then.
Yes.
And I can prove it. We scored more points at the back end of the year than we did at the start. And who did we play?
Before you saw the comment about we ticked off a box beating Panthers, and what's the next box to tick? My next box to tick is to stop winning the games twice. When we start winning the games once, that's my box. That's when we know that we're starting to come good, guys. When we start putting 30, 40 on teams, and we're not chasing our tail more than once in a game, that for me is our next box to tick. Even
in that Broncos game where we beat them without Critter, they got it back to 16-12 at half time.
Yes.
Like that try that Katoni Staggs scored off Ezra Mam little chip was a pretty good try, man. Like that was pretty special. Yeah. And then we didn't get another one until what was it? Marty went over at the end and did the Yarrow thing. Because it must have been a try celebration round or something, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to win one. We just got to win once, Brian says. He agrees with that. So, there you go, guys. They've lost 52-10 to the Titans. They lost in a close one on the Monday before that game. That was Golden Point, I'm pretty sure. Panthers were smashing them by even more, but Mitch Kenny got sin binned and they scored a couple of tries. They beat the Dragons, got away on them at the end, and they came back and beat the Broncos, which would have been fun. But defensively, they're just not there. So we should be winning this match because their defense isn't good enough. But I think I can see a grinding game where we win by, 24 points to 8 or something. I can see that being a typical Bulldogs Parramatta game. We should be winning. But Parramatta have lost. Have won the last 2 games. They've conceded 50 points. So, Gas, you've also got an update about our jerseys.
Yes.
And
So I found out the other day, guys, that the Bulldogs are not doing an Anzac jersey for next week. So they're not doing an Anzac jersey. So for any of those that were holding off, waiting on an Anzac jersey, I know a few of you were. There's not going to be, from what I was told, not going to be an Anzac jersey. So if there was going to be one, it would have already been out as well, guys. So I know that I saw the Rabbitohs release their Anzac jersey today. So so that one looks all right. It's a more of a white style one. But yeah, the Bulldogs won't be releasing one for the game. So I know there's still a few out there from previous games, previous seasons. But yeah, there's not going to be a 2026 one. I think probably the next one might be sort of an Indigenous one or something like that, potentially, that they might release. So that's some information that we were able to get our hands on. And also for some of those people still looking for Bulldog jerseys with the players' names on them, the Vegas ones they did, there's still a few at the Belmore store at Belmore, guys. If you're after some of those, chase them up. There's still a few. I noticed a few recently. They're still there. So, yeah, so go and have a look. So I had a look the other day when I managed to put my number 23 on my one there, guys. Fresh one. So that was the gift I got, the jersey from Aki. So I've put my name and number as I always do.
Thank you, Timmy. So
Thanks,
we're up
Timmy.
to $85, guys.
Come on, guys. $15, guys. A big one there, or three people, 5 each. You can use the phone number Michael put on there as well. There's the number there, guys. You can do pay ID, so then we get the whole lot rather than it goes and Uncle YouTube takes a lot of it or most of it, etc.
We'll talk about Origin in a moment. But what I'm going to do is just go through some historical stats and then we'll have another poll. So 152 games played, Dogs 88 to the Eels 75 with 5 draws. Now, at a core, there's been 37 games. The Dogs have 19 wins, the Eels 18 wins. The Eels' biggest winning margin was 52 points in 2005, winning 56-4. And for us, it was that game that Gas mentioned, 36 points in a 42-6 win in 1993 on Heritage Day. Bulldogs are on a 3-game winning streak, which we said earlier, and that start of that streak ended a 4-game win streak for the Eels. Most points in a match, Hazem El Masri, he's usually the player, 22 points in a 30-16 win in 2005. The most tries for a match, 4 tries to Dick Thornett from the Eels. Recent meetings against the Eels in the last 4 matches, the total hasn't gone over 42 points. And I think that was the last game. We won 30-12. Lowest total in the last 4 matches is 26 points. Average total in the last 4 matches is 35. That's combined match points, guys, for those playing at home. Doggies wingers scored a try in each of the last 4 meetings, and the right winger has scored 3 of those in 3 of those games. Eels centre Will Penasini has scored twice in the last 3 games against the Bulldogs, and Matt Burton's kicking is 11 from 17 against the Eels, so a little bit low. Last 2 meetings at a core, a Bulldogs player has been sin-binned in the last 2 matches.
We are going to be at Combank though this week. I know you kept mentioning a call, but we are at Combank though.
Our Combank, yeah. Which I think was a little oversight, but that's okay. Bulldogs in 2026, 9 different try scorers so far. Gaz and Preston have scored in 3 of those 5 games. Tupanua has scored a try in his last 2 games. And Burton has kicked 7 from 8 this year, missing 1 goal last week on his least favoured side. The Eels' recent record the week after conceding 50. In round 1, they lost to the Storm 52-4, and in round 2, they beat the Broncos 40-34. And last year, in round 6, they lost to the Raiders 50 points to 12, and in round 7, they beat the Tigers 38-12. Team's record the week after playing Penrith in 2026 is 1 win, 4 losses. The Roosters, the only side to win the week after playing Penrith, and they beat Manly 33-16 in round 4, which saw Anthony Seibold get the sack from the Manly Sea Eagles side. So there you go, guys. And as I say, most sides that play Penrith lose the following week. Timmy mentioned it a bit earlier. 3 sides this year that have played us have lost the next week. And the ones that have won, I think, are Newcastle and well, we've only had 2 losses, but
that was all games. There was
it must have been, well, South didn't win last week either. So
South didn't win. No, South didn't win. So I think Newcastle might have been the only one that's won.
Yeah,
Dragons lost. The Dragons haven't won. Canberra lost a few in a row. And then Newcastle's the only win. So, and then it's going to see what Penrith does this week, whether they. But at the moment, Newcastle's the only team to win a game.
Thank you so much, Trish. So you're in the draw. You've got 2 tickets in the draw. Most people have. That's beautiful.
Gives us a draw tonight, mate. I think you should set up your draw tonight, buddy.
Let's set it up. We'll be. So what are you going to talk about now, Guy?
Are we going to talk about your possible Origin hopefuls or not tonight?
Yeah, we'll put the poll up, buddy.
All right, I'll put your poll up, mate.
Basically, who's going to debut? Will it be Preston? Will it be Carraz? Or will it be both? And I think Preston is a definite. I think Jacob Carraz. I can just see New South Wales typically picking Milky Jenkins on the wing or Marky Mark. I think it's the wrong call. I think Carraz should be the one that's picked with Brian Toto.
I don't think Marky Mark with his hands, mate, will get a go, mate, to be honest.
Well, he was picked by Australia for Australia. And look, see, I'll tell you what's been wrong with New South Wales before we get into it any further. And the problem has been that they've tried to replicate the cohesion of having the big 3 from the Melbourne Storm or big 4 or whatever it is, who played together for that hot streak, and they all come from the one team and the one system, and they had continually picking the same great players every year, right? They've tried to replicate that by picking the Panthers. If it's under NRL rules, the last 5 years, I believe the New South Wales Blues win 3-0.
Yeah.
In every game. But because under Origin rules, they're less suited through the way that they play. So I think having Mitchell Moses there with Nathan Cleary is a lot better than having Luai with Cleary. Why? Because Moses does actually Luai sort of takes a back seat and he does his thing, and then he tries hard to create. Whereas Moses just does his things, and then when he sees an opportunity, he runs a short side, and they're in a lot more minds with what's going on. And having that kicking ability both sides of the ruck that's so long And it's why I think Matt Burton would be better as the next man up after Mitch Moses, and potentially even, if he goes out there and smashes the Eels and Moses doesn't play that well, Matt Burton ascends to the guy that should be playing with Nathan Cleary. And I think that's what I believe. And it's all about that ruck speed. And what I saw from Billy's team last year is that they were doing a lot of that catch and grab and drive stuff that the Bulldogs do. It's almost like they were trying to defend like us, and they got better and better at it. Plus, they get a 7 or 8 nil penalty count in horrible conditions in game 2 for the square up. But they also have that speed out wide. So when you don't get that ruck speed from the middle, because they're allowed to sit there all over it, you need to be able to generate speed and have speed. And the Blues just don't pick that because they have a team that's played like Penrith. And I think Nathan Cleary and Joby said this today as well. He just sort of played a role for Australia. And some people are criticising him, but he just played his role and let everyone play their role. And I think that's what needs to happen for New South Wales as well, until there's such a time when he gets to his peak and then he has that moment, which I'm sure he will have over the next couple of years, 2 or 3 years. He will have that dominant performance that everyone's been waiting for. But Cleary's always going to pull the strings and dominate when his team gets on the front foot. It's just hard to do that when you're picking a side which is playing to an NRL type of game when it's an Origin game. And it's not his fault. I think he's played as good as he could. That's just my thoughts on it. As far as Bulldogs, Jacob Preston, Jacob Carraz, Matt Burton, Stephen Crichton, Kurt Mann, I see him picking him again. And Maxi King's going to be in line. And somebody said potentially Satili Tupanua, due to the new rules, would be eligible as an enforcer, potentially off the bench. And that could be a really good call, actually. And that's one
if he keeps going the way he is, he'll be definitely in Laurie's mind. Yeah. So. I mean, there's other guys that could knock out Carraz. I mean, they could play some games with Turbo again. If he's playing well still, he's done the job for them before. So there is a lot of things that they could do, to keep that team the way it is. But I think they need to break away and just put the players in there. And look, guys, it all depends also as you get closer to Origin. It's still another 5 weeks. They usually go with the form players as well sometimes for those 50-50 calls. You want combinations, you want things like that. But, if Critter's back playing and he's going to be playing on a side with Carraz, for example, that makes a difference when you've got combinations as well. Those little things help. It's less effort of training in the big games, knowing that you've got players that know each other's game there as well. So, that's going to help. I'll come through a few of your chats, guys, while Michael's getting ready.
Bulldog Mike's throwing in another $10 as well. Thanks, matey.
Thank you, guys.
Soup for you.
Carraz should be the other New South Wales Origin winger. Well, let's hope so, guys. Let's hope he's fit and firing at that time and gets his game in the Origin. I mean, you can't believe Birdo isn't in the conversation. Disgraceful. Look, yeah, guys, he's a class player. He's been there as the 18th man or whatever you want to call it 1,000 times. So let's see what they do this time. As Michael just said, this game will be huge for him against Moses to just keep doing what he's been doing. Sick and tired. What's Timmy saying? They could potentially have Birdo on the 6-man bench with his versatility. Yeah, that's true. Sick of Carraz not getting credit. He's a top 3 winger in our game at the moment, yet most don't acknowledge it. Look, thankfully, a lot of us faithful really see that, know how important he is and how good he is. And he was in camp last year. He was there in the Blues camp, and he was training with the guys and everything. So he got a good taste and saw what it was about and everything. So he's not far away, guys. If all things go well, he could be there as well. Teams don't get picked until after Magic round, so plenty of footy to be played. That's right, Timmy. Can you imagine returning Moses and Bert? Exactly. Yes. I mean, you saw even the other day. I mean, Cleary put up a spiral kick and we couldn't get near it, guys. Some of those floaters are just hard to get under. As soon as we saw them go up, we're like, oh, shit, that's going to be tough. And luckily, we didn't concede any points from it. Birdo's been the forgotten man so many times. He hasn't played his club position at rep level. Yes. Timmy likes Gus's mindset. Don't start talking about Origin or looking at the ladder this early. Yes. Tim, you can't have 26-12 outcome and 1-12 margin. There you go, mate. You've been adjusted there, buddy. 26-14, mate. There you go, mate. He's fixed it up. Presto debut. Thanks, Brian. Carraz, 18th or 19th man, unfortunately. Yeah, there you go. Pete, Pete is cracking the whip.
Pete is always on Timmy's back, isn't he? Someone's got to keep Timmy in line. Timmy,
you coming to comeback or what, Timmy?
Timmy got onto the Kennel podcast last night because I told him they were on and we weren't.
Oh, Timmy, what are you doing?
I said, go and give it to Brian, mate. Go and get stuck in the Brian Dib. He went over there. He went up straight there and he goes, "Hey, Brian Dib, Mick says you're a tosser." I said, Timmy.
Oh.
No, you speak on your own behalf, not on my behalf, mate. I said, we live rent-free in Brian's head.
Oh, God.
That was hilarious.
He tried to make a comeback, Brian, didn't he? Didn't he reach back out to you again?
Yeah, he tried to make a comeback, and he's like, "I'm back." And I said, "You're banned again." No, he went back and forward, like trying to tell me that he's got a right to be on this chat, on this program, in this community. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't have any right to sit there and hang shit on players and on me. Look, you don't influence friends and stuff when you come back and start having a big crack and being a prick. And I think he's even on the Kennel podcast, like calling Elmo on that names and stuff. Like, I think they just ignore him and makes him angry. The Dragons guy Dibbo cops it big time on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we're tough at the moment, guys. 6 in a row. Oh.
Look, honestly, Dibbo used to actually, his comments were a lot more pertinent than Elmo's when they started, when it was in regards to the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I felt he knew more, but it seems like he knows. I don't know. He's just got, I don't know. I like Brian.
There we go, mate. Here we go. Harry knows Brian Dibb personally. Oh.
I like him. What
are we dealing with, Harry? What's going on there, mate?
Every comment I used to say to Dibbo, I said, thank God Dibbo's on this podcast. Because he's actually really good to the Dogs, but really shit to the Dragons. And I think what's happened is because the Bulldogs have gone on that rise and his teams continue to go down, he's getting a bit bitter.
Yeah.
But the shit they say about Flanagan, like, I understand it. It's a narrative, but the father's not wrong. Kyle Flanagan fucking, like Dibbo said last night, Kyle Flanagan was a turnstile in defense. Fucking bullshit he is. You can say a lot about it. Like his kicking style is really bad, which means it takes him a long time to get rid of the ball off his boot. And he's very premeditated and just doesn't have that speed to ask questions. But he plays to his strengths. He he gets that quick play the ball away, which can set something up if he does run, because they never respect him when he runs, and rightfully so, because he's just no threat. And but as a defender,
yes,
he's one of the best defending sevens in the fucking comp.
yes.
What are you talking about? Sorry, that's just when you're obsessing over someone, and obviously he's just wants to see the Flanagan name removed from the team list. Obviously, it's just like he's shit, and that's all it is. I do feel sorry for Dragons fans, except for when we sort of play them. But I go back to 1985. They were the dirtiest, grubbiest bunch of players I'd ever seen. Graham Wynn and fucking Craig Young and all that. Like, good players. God, they were grubs, man. The only player I like was Stevie Morris and the Penguin. What was his name? There was Michael Beattie and there was another guy. Was a Bird in the centers.
I can see the Penguins' head already, but
what was it? Was his last name Bird? The center. He played in the 2 grand final losses for the Dragons in the 90s against the Bronco. Roy and HG used to go on like he was the best player in the Dragon side and the one that was going to like win the game for the Dragons. Like the Broncos had no answer for him. I can't fucking remember his name. I'm going to have to, if Brian Berry will know who I'm talking about, I'm sure. He was a good footballer. He just wasn't the best. Yeah, good shout out of me. Very good shout, brother. But that was the problem last year too. They sort of were parallel with the Bulldogs with a lot of things that they did were very similar, but we were yelled at. They were praised. We were hazed. They were glazed for the same things. Well done for letting Fogarty go. Bulldogs let Sexton go. Ridiculous. Timmy loves the theatre around Gordon Tallis and the Broncos. Oh. All right. Well, I've got everything ready, guys. I was going to talk about New South Wales Cup. It's after the game.
Is it about Ian Heron?
No, not Ian. Not the Chook. Not the Chook. Ian Heron.
Not Michael Beattie.
Not Michael Beattie.
The Penguin.
He played in the centres.
Yeah, Michael Beattie.
Yeah, and there's another one. Ian Heron was on the wing.
Mark Coyne.
No.
Ian Heron, Mark Coyne. That was a centre. That was in the grand final. Ricky Walford, Potter. That was the 91 grand final.
92.
92. And then in
93,
93, let's have a look at 93. 93, they came second behind the Bulldogs. We got the minor premiership in the grand final against Brisbane. I actually predicted that score, guys. I remember leaving school for the holidays and I said Broncos are going to win 14-6. And I didn't even tip anything, obviously. Graham Bradley.
Yeah.
He was the centre. He was the centre with Mark Coyne. Yeah. He used to run like a penguin. He had that arch back that he used to have, remember?
Yeah.
He had that arch back, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm turning it on for you tonight, guys. You want me to sing you a song tonight or what?
Yeah, we'll pass on that, mate. No, it wasn't Mary McGregor, Pete.
Nah.
But I'll tell you what, guys, I was telling Mike earlier,
it's Graham Bradley.
Mark Gasnier was one of my favourites. I used to love watching Gasnier play, especially obviously when he played for the Blues, but I thought he was a great player, Mark Gasnier.
Yeah, it was Graham Bradley. So Roy and HG we used to listen to them commentate the grand final.
Yeah.
And just watch the TV with them. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like they just spoke about Graham Bradley for about 15 minutes in the lead up. I used to love when they used to talk about Alan Jones when he was coaching Balmain. They called it, he had big plans for Leichhardt Oval. He was going to turn it into a rainforest and call it Parrot Park. Like they just go on and on. It's fucking hilarious.
Harry's saying that Brian's from the area, mate. He's a good bloke. He just likes to shit stir. Does Michael have to be looking over his shoulder, mate, or what?
I love Dip. No, not.
Okay.
Oh, which Brian
Brian
Dib do you know? Do you know? Is it Dibbo from the
No. He's talking about Brian Dib. He's Brian Dib.
Oh, the one who comes on our show.
I'm guessing, yeah. He just said he likes to shit stir a lot.
And that's all right. He can shit stir as much as he fucking likes. But guess what?
He's been sent off, mate. He got the finger, mate. He's been sent off. Where are we? He sent off. Gone.
He's an attention seeker, and he starts fucking. If you put shit on our players, we just don't talk about it. We just say, "See you later, brother." It's simple. You can say the team was shit, and then I'll tell you why I think they weren't shit, or that I agree that they weren't very good. Yeah, but that's the thing. See, when people are chatting on these things, we don't see the tone. We don't see how they look. He's probably sitting there laughing his head off, thinking it's great, getting all the attention. But we're here to talk fucking footy, mate.
Name in the lights.
Do you remember Michael DeVere, great bloke, used to see him at Taekwondo? Oh, brilliant.
Bronco.
The New South Welshman, Mr.
Yes.
Staplehead.
Yes.
Tough player, one of Bennett's favourites. Bennett's favourite blokes.
I think you're missing an E there. Isn't there an E at the end of his name? Michael DeVere.
DeVere. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, good bloke. He did a bit of Taekwondo, Jamie. I used to do Zendu Kai when I was a kid.
Yeah, because before him, Chris Johns was the other guy that used to come into the Blues team from the Broncos.
That's right. John D. And he ended up running the Broncos.
Yep.
G'day, Abs. Ready for Leo Thompson. That's it.
Oh.
He got the red card. I think it'll be great, Simon. Cannot wait. We talked about it at the start a little bit. So go back and watch the start and you'll get to hear about that.
Excited.
He passed his black belt when you did. I'll tell you what, getting the black belt's hard, mate. People underestimate how fucking hard the shit you got to do on these. You got to know all the carters and you got to know all the stuff and all the fitness shit you got to do and then back it up and fight like. But anyway, Zendu Kai was more of a fighting martial art. But, yeah, I was lucky. My Dai Senpai was a fucking hairdresser. He used to drive an hour and a half from Albury to Wagga to train us, and he took 3 of us to the New South Wales Championships, and one little fat turd made the grand final, got disqualified, gave me another chance because I got upset, and I got disqualified again. But anyway, I didn't think I had a chance, but I went all right. My cousin Michael Jeffrey hates when I tell people about that because he thinks I'm bragging about. I was only like 14 or something. I'm very proud of that achievement. That's as good as it got for me.
Mm.
Let's hope we can see him back. Hit the back
off the back fence. Off the back fence, mate. Off the back fence. Well, he's a big boy. He's got some intimidation about him.
He runs a bit like O'Mealy too, so he does get hit sometimes because he's like, bring it on, come hit me. But the thing about Leo is he keeps sort of going the same level. And eventually that energy takes out of the opposition. But there's times where he wins the contact straight off. Like he's going to be fired up, man. You just know it. He's going to be, I reckon he'll be nervous as hell as well. And that'll mean he's going to go out there and do some pretty good fucking stuff. Yeah, well, it's like that's so it's the discipline of it, isn't it, mate? It's a discipline. It's just a great thing. And look, I haven't met too many people who've done martial arts that have ever had a fight because they're so smart, and they're disciplined. So it's good. James Cesar can be our bodyguard. Don't mess with James. Well, I'll need you to be around us, James, when we go to Brisbane in case Brian Dibb's there and he tries to attack me.
No, after we hopefully smash the Broncos and they try to chase after us because we beat them.
If he came up to me, I'd shake his hand and give him a hug. That's the type of bloke I am. But not everyone's the same as me, so that's all right. This one of the blokes was on here 2 weeks ago is messaging me non-stop, fucking threatening me and shit. This is what you get when you put yourself out here like that, guys. So probably one of the blokes who was sending death threats when the team list didn't change. You know what I mean?
Well, is that the team list that beat the Panthers?
Yeah. That's it, Brian. And the 1-2 punch, bang, 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 King Thompson. Even if they come up against the best and hold parity in that middle, and then we go the energy with Satilli, Harry, or whoever's in that role at the time.
Even Satilli's run meters were awesome the other day. And he played a better second stint than his first stint, but he didn't miss a beat in that second stint. He was on fire.
I pointed this out when he first come on the field, I think, against the South Sydney team. He had a great game the week before.
It's Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah. But his first 2 support runs were 1,000,000 miles an hour, didn't get the ball. And it's same against Penrith. It's like if you actually gave him the ball, then he's actually gonna bust through and score. Like,
yep,
he's running 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
Chris Bangos, we talked a fair bit about that. You heard that Isaac Moses was asking the Bulldogs for too much money. Well, that's the thing. If we don't, we offer our price and that's it. Gus does up the document, gets ratified by the board. The coach says, yeah, I want him. Then they present it. Now, if that doesn't, if they come back and want to, usually from what I've heard, the Dogs offer what they think the value is. And that's it. Like, they don't fuck around. And it's only if a manager sort of comes back and says, actually, like, we're still considering your offer. Do you want to talk again or something like that? Which I sort of heard happened around Luawai and Moses. Whereas, like, they'd had our offer for a long time. And, yeah, and it was still on the table sort of thing. Sorry, mate. Oh.
Speaking of Satilli, Pete says he's been probably close to our best forward in the last 3 games with the exception of Presto.
Yeah, Satilli's been our best the last 3 weeks overall, if you had to say overall, and Presto's very close.
Chris Bangos, why would the Dogs want Bulla when Connor is playing very good?
Well, I think it's a bit the fact that Connor is a very versatile player, and I think Bulla could be as well, to be honest. And you got to have more than the one player. Connor isn't elite yet, but he is very good. And the Bulldogs have always been successful with very good players in very important positions.
Luke Patton.
As a team. We've always been good in that. So Connor Tracy just needs to keep doing what he's doing to be that player where they go, this guy could, if we lost Tedesco and
Edwards.
Dylan Edwards and probably Scott Drinkwater. They'd probably go Drinkwater after that. If we lost those three players, Tracy might be someone they look at, but what they do is probably go, Tommy Travojevic is going to play fullback. You know, so there'd be so many in front. There'd be about 5 or 6 in front of Connor. And it was sort of like that around when Luke Patton was playing, although he was probably the second best fullback every year, in my opinion. There was other sort of better credentialed players that they would use or move around and stuff ahead of him. And I think that's what they do with Tommy. And like, I think they'd even move Latrell there ahead of Connor for an Origin game.
All right, mate. I think it's time for a prize draw, buddy.
We're doing our prize draw. We've got to get Bulldog Mike on the wheel. That's all.
Get Bulldog Mike on the wheel.
No, I've got him on there. I've already got him on there.
There you go, mate. All right, everyone. Let's see what's going on. Who is going to win the money?
Who's going to win the money? I'm getting it up now. Oh, that sounded great. That's what he said.
Thanks again for your support, everyone.
Thank you so much, people. So Rhett's got entries again. Timmy's got entries. Matt's got a couple of entries. Shoey's got entry. Trish has got a couple of entries. If you're a monthly contributor, Pete's got a couple. You get double the tickets. Timmy's got double tickets. Everyone's got double tickets except maybe 1 or 2 people. But if you do become a member, you get double tickets. Give me the drum roll, please.
Let's rock and roll.
There you go. And the man who kicked it off tonight.
Show E the money.
Showy the money. $40 voucher for Showy. Showy's won before, hasn't he?
Doesn't matter. He's a winner.
No, it's okay. You can win as many times as it comes up.
That's right. That's right.
But he,
the man who kicked it all off. Are you
he
still
only had
around,
one
Showy?
ticket too.
Still around, mate, or you gone?
Yeah, I think I've got Showy's details, so I'll be able to get that out to him.
That's all right, mate. Yeah.
Thanks
again, everyone.
So that's brilliant. Well done, mate. Big congratulations. Chris Bangos, what are these tickets? So if you do super chats every week when we hit a certain number, so tonight was when we got over $100, you go into the draw. And if you're a monthly member, pay a subscription to us on Buy Me a Coffee or on YouTube or Patreon, you get extra tickets in the draw when you donate, whether it's $2, $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever it is. But we still, some places only sort of show select comments, and if people pay, we try to talk about everyone's comments the best we can.
Thanks for all the support, guys.
Pretty sure Showy's name is Sean, but my brain is terrible. So congratulations, brother.
Yes, mate.
That's Aki there.
That's Aki, mate.
Aki will be there with the Don't Break Defence sign. And you can see Gus has got his canvas up there, the smaller one. That's to take that's to go for games that or did you put the other two on the back of the big one?
Done.
Hey?
Not yet. I'm holding off to see what I'm going to do. Holding off, thank you, holding off to see what I'm going to do for the Broncos game first before I put them on the back.
All right.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you, everyone. Another big night. 2 hours and 40 minutes goes just like that. My son's waiting for me to go for a walk, take the dog for a walk before we hit the stack. Oh, you're going for a walk too? I'll give you a ring, mate.
No worries. No worries.
We can't get enough of each other. All right, people. Great night tonight. Sorry we didn't go through the New South Wales Cup team, but might be able to do a preview of that as well. We'll see what happens, considering it's after the NRL match on a Sunday evening. But once again, that's it, mate. We go for walks late at night. I'm also the night crawler, the night walker, or whatever you call him. I'm
the night
Batman. I'll tell you, I get freaked out when I walk past the trees and the bats fucking fly out. Then you get water rats coming up, and I live in paradise, mate. Nothing like the moonlight on the water.
How nice is it at the moment? The stars are amazing because there's no moon. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. See ya, Aki.
Night, Aki. That's it, Timmy. On the dark night. I'm Batman. The creepy crawler, Brian.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Paul Crawley's out there.
And Tim, if you're asking, mate, some sunshine punch today, mate, and some other stuff too. Lemon lime beers.
Just got some Pepsi Max and there's no bourbon in it. No, there's not. I wish there was.
Yeah. You can tell who's been having the marbles, guys.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
I run into some kangaroos sometimes. A lot of little rabbits running around. Some possums the other day I spotted. Yeah, you get all sorts of stuff, guys.
As Gus walks through,
and I'm the only one, mate. No one walks around this time of night.
Mate, David Attenborough would actually do a fucking. You know, people ask me what my dog is, and I just say, oh, it's a Roxy. What's a Roxy? It's a Roxy dog. And they say, what's your other dog? I'm like, he's a Dexter dog.
Timmy's asking for you to sing some Johnny Cash, mate. I wouldn't even know any of those songs.
After Nando's, I had a burning ring of fire.
I don't think there's any dingoes in Belmore.
Nah, mate. There's dingoes not too far away from us, though.
The dingo ate my baby.
No.
That's all right, guys.
All right, people. That's enough.
Be happy hour, guys. That's it. Let's rock and roll. For those who are coming out on Sunday, I will see you there. Come and say hello.
Come say hello.
For those who are in Brisbane next week, bring it on. Keep that Anzac spirit.
All right, and if you haven't heard this song, it's a hit song. Check it out.
Man of the match. Man of the match.
Go the Dogs.
Joint man of the match with Galvin.
Love yous all. Go the Dogs.
Lost in darkness, the Bulldogs lost their way. Losing everything and forgot how to play. Along came the kid with long blonde hair. His name is Jeff Preston, do not despair. Doggies fans, are you ready? Ready? Yes, we are ready, ready. Here we go, here we go, here we go. WrestleMania, mania, mania. WrestleMania, mania, mania, mania. WrestleMania, mania, mania. Memories of Barrett's boys hurt us as we hang our heads in shame. Des indeed left us without a blue sky and more scapegoats to blame. But the rival of Presto and a new hungry Bulldogs breed will leave these nightmare memories for dust as they look for opponents to meet. Doggies fans, are you ready? Ready? Yes, we are ready, ready. Here we go, here we go, here we go. WrestleMania, mania, mania. WrestleMania, mania, mania, mania. 23. He won all the awards and embarrassed some frauds or free, tackling until his last breath, running harder than much bigger men. Preston